All right. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, fellow lovers of classic WoW the world over. Welcome back to Good Morning Azeroth, your community talk show, your weekly community talk show, episode number 29. I hope you're all doing well. We got the gang. We got the gang back together. Plus a new guest to the show. But dude, a guy we've known for quite some time, a real legend in our midst right here. We're lucky to have him. Big Docken is gracing us today with his presence on Good Morning Azeroth 29. How is everybody doing?
Send it.
Doing great, boys. Doing great. He says, I'm just gonna send it. What's up, guys? Thanks so much. First time on, long time friends, huh?
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, this is all. Yeah, you know what's really cool? Everyone here I've met in real life.
Yes,
Cargos in real life.
We are-
Doc in real life. Yeah.
we've
You know,
crossed
there was-
that. We've crossed that line, dude. We're now RL friends, or no, IRL friends, dude.
IRL friends,
Yeah.
I still missed the fact that I didn't hear about that weekend in the proper timing because I was planning to come out
Oh,
to see
I
you. my
know.
man.
I know.
That
It's
would've
our
been
fault.
miscommunication.
Yeah.
on
Next
our
time.
fault.
Next
Yeah.
time.
But yeah, Docking was brave enough to come over our house. We didn't time in the basement or anything. Like it was good. It was good. He had a
Thought
good
about
time. Yeah.
They even gave me a beer. It was great.
Sounds like,
10 out of 10 would go again.
how close do you guys live to each other again?
It's like 3 hours.
No,
that's
it was
kinda-
like two some.
It's
two
like 2
something.
hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's
it
still
was
kind of
bad.
far. I forget Pennsylvania's kind of big, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as big as Cali, but it's big. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's pretty big. Well, welcome everybody. I hope everybody's doing good out there. It's been it's been about a week. We did this last week, right? I think, Def. But
Yeah, we did
either
last
way.
week, and we had a good old time, and yeah, lots happened since then. But should we give them? I'm really hyped today because I got some really good news that I am so very close to 60. I'm literally 59, and I'm like 99% there to level 60. So after this, we're gonna have a Def Camp hits level 60 stream, and
Oh,
we'll be doing
man.
that. So yeah. So
Gotta hit you
but,
with that host, man. Yeah, after this, yeah.
oh yeah, well yeah. I got maybe I have to start it, but I want to give them a nice, beautiful, good old good morning Azeroth if everyone's ready for that. If
Yes,
everyone's
Def Camp.
prepared.
Please bless the
guys
people
ready?
with a loud and thunderous power word shield.
All right, everyone. If you're in your car, I don't want to break anyone's speakers again, so turn it down.
Shield. Sorry.
Shield. Here we go. All right. Good morning, Azeroth. What's up,
Yo,
man?
this fucking scream, dude. Oh, dude, I'm dying, man.
Upstairs neighbors probably we're thinking we're dead.
He had some
Yeah.
rasp in that one, dude. He went for it. Dude. He sent it. He sent it, as they
He
say.
did send it.
Sent it,
Definitely.
baby.
Wow.
Yes.
Holy moly.
Yes.
Full send, baby.
It's good to have the boys back in us. Yo, we haven't had Melderon on Good Morning Azeroth in
Yeah.
like freaking months, man. Melderon, how are you, bro?
Good. Dune was a little sick today, so and I was at work, and I'm like, you know what? It's Friday. I'm gonna leave early, so I left early, and I'm really glad that I could be here today. And my shaman is 59 and 1/3, so I'm right behind Def Camp. And I'm looking forward to. We've been doing a lot of BRD runs. We've been doing some questing. We're trying to get pre-raid bis. Our first raid is next week with Sidewinder. And it's been great. It's been the experience overall for me has been fantastic. Shamans are very strong. I switched to Elemental, and man, I'm blowing shit the f up.
Yes, he
It
is, dude.
crazy.
I can
dude.
say he's doing like 1,000 DPS on some pools,
Yeah, it's
it's insane.
insane.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. and so am I with Holy Nova. So
Yeah.
Yo,
But
man,
it's
Magical Bean, thank you so much for the kind words and subscribing, man. I appreciate it. Cargos, Def Camp, Melderon have built a great guild. Really appreciate it, man. He's playing on our server, too.
thank
So
Cargos as well, and Egregious and Navic. Yeah, because that's all
Yeah.
we're all part
it's
of
a
the
group
same guild.
effort. Melderon, I heard they should do an 800 DPS as an Elemental Shaman.
So I was
Yeah.
so okay. These are large packs. So what I'm doing is, BRD those packs are like 5-6 mobs.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I drop down Wind Fury for the 2 warriors. It's 2 warriors, priest, myself, and hunter. So I drop Wind Fury down. I wait until the tank does a demo shout, and then or thunderclap, whatever. Then I drop my magma totem, run back into caster range, and just start lightning bolt, chain lightning, lightning bolt.
He always
lightning
pulls
bolt, chain
dagger
lightning,
anyway.
lightning
so
bolt, chain
yeah.
lightning, and it's I'm able to pull somewhere between 600 to 1,000 DPS on these packs.
Holy shit, dude.
Seriously, he is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's insane, dude.
That is
It's
big boy
fucking-
damage right there.
Yeah,
it's literally to the point where, like, so the first night we did BRD, I was Spec Shadow, Sarmonican who was tanking, or actually Kigo who was tanking was arms and he's wearing half leather, and everyone, and Meldoron was still enhancement, and it was not a good run. Then we all respec. Sarmonican went tank. Sarmonican, by the way, is an amazing tank. She's like
Really?
yeah,
so
she's really good.
Yeah, really good
Damn,
tank.
dude. She's new to Warrior too, right? New to
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Saris, her husband, basically just started playing WoW, picked up Hunter really well. I mean, dude, this dude he kills like 100 Alliance in like 2 hours. It's ridiculous. He just kills everyone.
Wow.
But yeah, so then we had such a smooth run after that. We all respect, and we did a full clear BRD.
Yeah.
It was so nice. It was so much fun.
Before that, before we spec Elemental, we were doing a double Ravager pulls, dude, and those
Yeah.
are. So myself is enhancement with Ravager, Kigo as a warrior with Ravager, and then Wind Fury Totem, and it was GG. So like
Yeah.
the whole SM was GG, dude. It was just
Oh
like
yeah,
blowing it.
yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Shaman's good, man.
Think about that with the Ravager thing, man. Like everybody, it's like you gotta have a Ravager. I literally got like people tell me you can't join our group because you don't have a Ravager, and I'm like, bro, I probably
That
out
ain't
Because of
the
the leveling meta.
Yeah.
It's the dungeon cleave meta
I'm
because
like, are
everybody
you
gets it.
serious?
That's why.
Like it's ridiculous.
That is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I thought it was ridiculous because like we were running one of our guys was running numbers and he's like it really isn't that much greater of a benefit than the Whirlwind Axe. It's not that much better unless you've got like 6+ mobs, 6 or more.
So, yeah,
And
you
I'm
have to have a large pack. Otherwise, there's no
Yeah.
point, right?
Yeah, we would
Because-
pull like 10, 20 mobs. Honestly, we would pull a shit ton of mobs.
maybe 10,
10,
maybe
20.
10.
Yeah.
Jesus
10,
Christ.
10.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say 20. 10.
Maybe not 20. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are really good. So
exactly.
I've been, Meldoran, I've been doing, so I leveled my Warlock to 60 guys, and I have a Mage who's basically 60 now. He just has the Hand in Cloth and some BRD quests. He'll be 60 at the
Ridiculous.
moment. So I spell cleave the whole way up on my alt to get him
Yeah.
to 60. I really wanted a Mage. So I'm very accustomed and sensitized to the numbers that people are putting out, like AoE damage, right? And you're like, that damage you're saying is insane. You're keeping up with the mages and locks and stuff at that point. If you're putting out that much damage on packs,
Here's
like,
the
as an
downside,
elemental shaman.
though. Here's the downside. You got to drink after every fucking pack, dude.
So do mages.
That's
I
the
mean,
pro-
yeah,
So
so
do
do
mages.
mages,
The
right?
same
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, when you
all
do
right.
a big, huge spell cleave pull like that, and you go and you either do an
Yeah.
eye pull, void pull, or you do a block pull, and you blizzard off it. Like you do
Yeah.
a
At
big
least
pull,
mages have Evocated,
you
though.
dump a lot.
The key is you have to drop Magma Totem. If you don't drop Magma Totem, you're losing like 200. You're losing like 200 DPS off the top.
Oh
like,
yeah, seriously. yeah.
So, but you gotta make sure the tank has aggro first on everything. Otherwise, they just kill the totem immediately, and then you're like, fuck. You know what I mean? So then you have to run back into melee range, drop the totem again, run back out, and start. You can stay in melee range, but the problem is you'll pull more threat in melee range. So you'll pull 20% more threat. So
Huh? Interesting, dude. Yo, so I'm thinking about this now.
Yeah.
So in a spell cleave, you don't have a tank. You know, you're pulling with Eye or Voidwalker
Right.
or a Mage blocking, and then you basically Blizzard off of it or Nova off it. So you wouldn't have that concern as a Shaman. People always say Priest is the best in a spell cleave because you can bubble the Eye and pull with the Eye. But now I'm
Right.
saying Shaman utility may have a Magma Totem and can do more damage than the Priest potentially. I'm just thinking
Yeah.
about this stuff. you know?
Depends
Well,
on the. I think
gotta
the
be high
comp.
level too.
Yeah, if you,
gotta
have
be
warriors,
plus 40 plus. Yeah.
exactly. If you have warriors, then I'm a priest, right? If you're doing like a melee cleave, take a shaman. If you're doing a spell cleave, take a priest. Honestly, because with a melee
Holy
cleave,
Nova?
well, no, with a melee cleave you have Wind Fury, right?
No,
Okay.
I know, but why would you take a priest over a shaman in the spell one? That's all.
In the spell cleave because Holy Nova.
And the Absorb
That's
is
what I just
super
said.
good. Absorb is super good
Oh
too.
yeah, the Holy
Like,
Nova and the absorbs. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and
Okay,
honestly, here's the thing: you don't have chain heal until what level?
40.
40, right? Prayer
Yeah.
of Healing is the best group healing.
It's
I mean,
it's the best group heal in the game.
It is the
absolutely.
best group
Yeah.
heal in the game, 100%.
Yeah.
So, if you need to give out a really good group heal, Prayer of Healing is amazing to have as well. So, but I really, and like I'll admit, I play priest. It's, don't get me wrong, priests are amazing for whatever group, but a shaman with chain heal and Wind Fury Totem in a melee cleave group,
Yeah.
is amazing.
So what I would do, Taro, is if you are trying to toy with it, I would make sure that the mages drop Blizzard first.
They do, yeah.
I think that'll do enough threat for the magma totem not to die.
Yep.
I think that'll be enough threat.
So that's one thing, a big thing that I see spell cleavers make a big mistake of. They get it fixated with trying to drop a Nova once you stack everything up, right? But the Nova, you always have a 1% chance to resist that Nova. It's a spell, right? And if you get a couple resists,
Sure.
you're in a bad spot. The second any mob gets staggered off of that death ball where you clump them all up, you're actually rapidly in a terrible situation. You're going to have to use grenades as a band-aid solution to try and restack and regroup all the mobs up together. The best, cleanest pull we're experiencing is a mage goes out there, he rank 1 Fire Blast, Wand, CS's, Blinks, and Proximity Body pulls everything. Then he blocks, and all you do is you layer Blizzards on top of that block with 2 other mages. And because with spell dashing, people can slip out of Blizzards a lot, right? They can slip out of Blizzards. And also another problem with Nova is if you Nova everything in, you Blizzard, and you don't get the full Blizzard over the pack, you can break some people out of that Nova before others, and it will split it up. Everything has to be stacked on top of each other, and having the key is multiple layers, multiple iterations of Blizzards hitting the mobs to keep them, to give them as much chance as possible to keep them perpetually slowed.
Right.
You're triggering me. Stop talking about layers.
Oh, it's the layering.
It's the goddamn layering, bro. The layering.
Anyway,
speaking of layering,
I'm just saying,
the whole raid layering.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And this is funny because Al mentioned this to us like 2 weeks ago, I think, before it all went out, and he was like, "Did you guys hear that they're having layers inside raids?" And I was like, "What? Like that can't be."
Yeah, I think I like totally discounted that because I was like, I don't understand what you're saying. It didn't compute.
Does not compute.
All right, so people might not know what's going on. So pretty much, like, you guys all know about layering at this point. If you're playing the game, you've seen people, time travel through the layers and appear in front of you, take your fire bloom, and then disappear into the abyss again. But you could layer inside of not only raids but dungeons. So you could go into Scholomance, you could go up to Ras Frost Whisper, jump into another layer, kill him again, and get another shot at the flask, right? Or go into Scholomance right at the end where there's like those 5 bosses, and you kill them all, then you layer, and you kill them all, you layer. And this was a big exploit in Blizzard's eyes and did a big ban wave. So not only in MC and stuff like what happened to SVAN, but in dungeons as well.
Yeah, and I honestly, like, I'm sorry if you go into a raid and you especially if you're familiar with WoW, and pretty much let's be frank, right? Pretty much everyone who's 60 right now is probably familiar with WoW, right? You know that raid bosses do not just reset in 10 15 minutes. Like, that's not how it works, and you know that you're doing something that's not intended. I'm sorry, and if you should know better, right? So if you got banned,
I agree with that, man. I think people doing things like that they fundamentally know are not right, they should suffer consequence. Like I think Blizzard's being too, if they're not dropping a hammer on people, they're being too weak about it, just simply because it's just bad. Like, it's like, stealing. It's wrong. Why would you do it?
Yeah.
You can get away with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they did.
I'm a little aggressive
big,
about that, but that's me.
They did a big ban wave. By the way, Docken, where are you playing? What are you playing? I know some people may be new to your channel and maybe your face and brand. Docken has been a huge friend to all 3 of us here, and just wanted to get an update from where you're at, man.
Oh yeah, man. I'm playing on Scarum with you boys. I am running my own guild over there. You guys give me the invite, I appreciate that. But right now we got our own team blackout thing going for our guild, and I'm playing a warrior. I'm going to be our main tank and the guild leader for them, and that's where we're at. I'm up to 57, I think it was. So I kind of feel slow, like I'm behind all you guys. But you know what? That's okay. I think I'm the only one. Oh no, wait.
It's about the journey, man. It's about the journey, Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, I think I'm the only one that's married. I was like, oh wait, I know you want to, You just got
married.
I'm married.
You just got it.
Dude, my girl has been way too understanding, dude. It's been shocking me, dude. I hope I'm not
really.
Deep
That's
trouble,
awesome.
I've been fine.
This thing, my missus is gonna play some. I don't know how much, because like it was like last weekend. She's like, did you get the laptop set up yet so I can figure it out? And I'm like, not 60 yet. Not 60 yet, because like I gotta take time. I gotta take time so that I can play with her, and after I get 60, of course.
Nice.
That's funny,
Yeah,
dude.
of course.
That's cool. She's gonna play, man. What is she gonna play?
A little bit. Like I'm gonna get her to do shaman, and I'm just gonna probably pair up like my 3rd warrior with the shaman, and just
So you just wanted her to drop Winfrey for you, pretty much.
No.
Drop Winfrey, yo, dude.
That's not just the only thing. I mean, she's got.
Oh man, that's funny, dude.
So Harmonica.
Holy moly, dude.
It's our tank.
There you
Yeah,
go.
our
There's our
tank.
tank right there.
Oh man, always doing it, coming in here with the fat donations. Really appreciate it, Sarmonican, with the 11,000 bit donation. Man. Gonna be
Wow.
60 by Monday, I think. Running these dungeons with Def and Mel have been amazing. Also tell Def to fix his flashing clock. Is that some like inside joke?
It's gotta
Dude?
be. No,
It's over his shoulder.
Over my shoulder.
Oh, that's why it's triggering. It's triggering.
Yeah. Is it triggering? Because like,
Dude,
yeah.
I'm kind of jelly. You guys are running dungeons together this whole time, going
Dude,
through
this
all
whole time we've been doing it, man.
We've been running dungeons together in some form since like SM. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or even maybe before, honestly. I don't
Maybe
know,
before
yeah.
you
You
guys.
know the nice thing about that when you get a group and you just get that flow going, like you don't have to talk, just boom, 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 boom. Pull.
Yeah.
You know what they're gonna do, and they know what you're gonna do, and they know what you can and can't handle. It just makes it so smooth and so fast. It's like
Yep.
It does, man. That's really fun, dude. They've been so 4 out of 5. Who's been the 5th? If you don't mind, man. Just any random person.
Kigo, our buddy Kigo.
Kigo.
Yeah. He's my buddy from. We used to play
Mythic
Legion
Raid together, right? Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, we used to Mythic Raid together. Yeah.
Oh wow.
He's a really good. He never really. I mean, he started playing. I think like in late vanilla. So, but he hasn't played like private servers or anything. But he's like a really good player. You know, 'cause
He's such a warrior, dude. So yesterday,
He's such a warrior, though. Yeah.
we were in
Yeah.
Eastern Plaguelands, right? And you know those Stitch horrors? They like knock you back.
Yep.
So we're by that town, with like the overrun Scourge town in the middle, like the smack dab middle of Eastern Plague. No,
oh, these
Eastern-
oh,
Eastern Plaguelands.
Darkshire.
Not
Darkshire.
Darkshire. No, not Darkshire. Anyway,
Oh yeah, they were talking about right.
so we're there, and like we were
Corn's
fighting
Crossing.
these dudes. Corn's Crossing.
That's it.
thank
That's
you.
it. Yeah.
And we're fighting these dudes or whatever, and we have to kill the ghouls for the citizens of Darkshire.
He's
quest
in
or
the
whatever.
chat listening you to explain
Yeah,
this.
no,
dude.
yeah. He knows I'm gonna. He knows I'm gonna
He's
talk
about to
about.
roast
So
him
then,
right now. He's about to get roasted.
So he's like, "All right, dude, I'm gonna charge this guy," and he charges him, and then the fucking Stitch Hard just knocks him into the friggin' like that like basin down there, and he
Just like knocks him off.
knocks him down to like 1% health, and the Stitch Hard runs down and just hits him once and kills him. It's the funniest thing in the world. Such a warrior move,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I was
Such a
like,
warrior
no.
move, dude.
And then he comes out of nowhere. He's like, "Oh, Def Camp, I'm gonna come help you." And he's got like 50 dudes chasing him. I'm like, "Dude, you're gonna kill me!" Like he's just like, "Don't worry about it, bro. I got you." I'm
Yo,
like, "What are you doing?"
John Man, thank
like,
you
here,
for the
hold
200
my
bits.
beer.
Yeah.
Thank you for the 200, John Man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the 200 bits. Yo, as the leashing surprised any of you guys? I don't know. Have you guys ever?
What do you think?
Have you guys ever had mobs chase you literally across the entire
Yes.
zone to the point
Yes.
where you're actually laughing? You go through the whole cycle of like rage to laughter to rage again, and it's like, I don't know. That's happened to me a bunch now. Like they just will not get off you, bro. Like
So,
Oh yeah.
you aren't hitting them, right, Carlos?
no,
You're
I'm not
just,
hitting them. No, I'm not.
Yeah, okay,
I'm not.
yeah.
Every 11 seconds, wanding them and keeping going, dude. No, yeah, I'm just running.
They
Dude.
Wardy,
follow
exactly.
you forever.
Wardy, exactly,
like,
and then they just despawn. Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you guys go around across any of the mobs that like when you're in an instance or something and like they're almost dead and they start running and they just like they run through the room into the next room up a set
Yep.
of stairs down
Yep.
the hallway like where are you going?
Through the walls and not
Yeah,
even
or-
aggroing other stuff too, just
Yeah,
running.
dude,
Yeah.
So,
BRD
BRD
is like fucked. So
It's buggy, dude.
So you know the span that crosses where you Pyromancer, whatever his name is, and you cross that span.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Every single time we walk across that bridge, mobs just like
Appear out of the wall.
materialize.
Yeah.
And I'm
Hmm.
like, what the fuck are they doing?
They
It's
just
like
make-
dude, it's
yeah.
the craziest thing, man.
What, the Black
Uh,
Forge area? You're going across that bridge?
Across the bridge, like
Yeah.
above where
Above Insidious, above
yeah,
Warden's-
around that area. Yeah.
And then the other thing is the Grim Guzzler, the guys, like no one attacked them or anything like that. Meldar went to go give the guy the two things, they just all turned red. They all turned red for like no reason. We were all on the grates killing what's his name, and then we had two
Pyromancer.
Pyromancer and two elites spawned like out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's been.
but I gotta say,
PRD's been a little rough. Yeah.
Elders and
yeah,
Ubers
yeah.
have too, man.
Really?
Yes.
No,
Oh, man.
Now, do you guys think that's a pathing problem within this specific instance itself, or do you guys think that's something that's like more widespread? Because I've only seen it like a couple of times, a couple of places, but I've
Same.
seen it. It's hilarious and like what the heck.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like, if you guys have any thoughts on that?
Uh,
And if it is, like, is that maybe from lack of testing, or just lack
yeah.
of reporting, or just like it's just one of those things that's not a huge issue? It just needs to be done at some point.
I think it's not a huge issue, but I also think it's because we didn't have 60, in the beta. I think we didn't get a chance to see any of this stuff.
True.
And I think That could be the reason why.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember the issue being in like SM. I don't remember this issue.
Me either.
So I don't know.
Fair enough.
I just want to remark on something real quick, and so there's a lot of things that are problems, and I think that we also need to be a little bit patient, because I think like what the issue, I think that a lot of these issues are stemming from the fact that this is 7.3.5 that was backported.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a lot of wonkiness that's going to happen. I'm not saying that all of it is. I'm not saying that some of it's not maybe not negligent, quote unquote. I think some of it could have been like. Definitely could have been like proactively figured out, but I think a lot of these issues are like arising and they're like, oh man, we didn't even think this was going to happen. Do you know what I mean?
Think about vanilla when it first launched back in the day, how many bugs there were, right, compared to where we are now. Yeah, it's a huge difference.
I think a huge part of it stems from, and I've said this, and probably anybody that's here from my stream or whatever, I've heard me say it. So I think it's just lack of preparation for the launch. I think they literally just didn't think as many people were going to play it as they did, and I think they went swamped trying to figure out server issues and keep the game online. Like the discussion I've had with you is, well, what are you gonna do? You just try to keep the game up, if at all possible, for the maximum number of players, because that's the number one priority. You can fix the other stuff later. As much as we dislike it, you know what I mean? Like I saw a tweet today from Hamster Wheel, and he was like talking about like finally a post admitting that hunter traps are not working right. And he goes, he had referenced it had been on the forums for weeks, and I'm like, well, they can't fix anything. They don't have time.
Yeah, I think sorry.
Words?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think we're only 4.5 weeks post launch. I mean, like, it's going to get rectified.
It hasn't even been a month yet, though, right? It has not been a month yet.
It's been about a month.
No, it's 26th that came out, right? It's the 20th.
Oh, there you go. It hasn't even been a month yet.
It's been what? Yeah,
as much as we're playing, it's still very early. Very early.
Yeah.
Bro, I think the secret to Eternal Life is playing lots of WoW, because it's felt like 3 months have gone by, and it is.
Oh my god!
Honestly, guys, we're in like the top. I'd say probably 5% of players that level wise. I'm saying not skill. I'm talking about level wise. I think most of the player base not even. Well, dude, you're 57, dude. Like,
I'm kidding, dude.
You're up there. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. But like, I think a lot of us, dude, like, we're pretty high. Like, Carlos has 260s already. Like,
it's ridiculous.
Bro, it's the best thing you can do for yourself. Dude. I can make myself water and food, bro. It's the best thing you can do for yourself, man. Make a mage.
True.
Make a mage. Getting free Cinnabons and getting free water, bro. It's too good, man.
Talking about the leveling, and once you hit 60, one thing, if you're gonna make alts, now is the time to start them. At least burn it, like level them up a little bit, get them to like 10, 20 something, and start saving that rested and burn that up while the layering is still in. Because I've heard a lot of people talking like, I am personally not a fan of the layering, but if it's there and they take it away, leveling is gonna be a much more difficult thing to do. So
yeah,
something to consider.
That's true. Yeah.
And also important too, when you get up there, if you're gonna get multiple professions from different characters and stuff like that. Where if you want to have like Arcanite cooldowns, you want to have Mooncloth cooldowns, you want to have, you got to get them high enough that you can actually, get those crafting professions up as well.
Absolutely. And so you're already talking about cooldowns and stuff. Like we were hoping. So this is going to be kind of an educational stream, guys. I know Good Morning Azeroth, we chill, we talk. We still can't do that too. Like if it's getting boring, say something in the chat. But I think it would be cool. We have some people who have really know a lot about their specific classes. Docken on Warrior, Melderon on Shaman, Deathcamp on Priest. I'd like to think I've been learning a thing or two about Warlock. And so much about, like, playing this game, like a general guide doesn't really cut it for every class. So much, even when it comes to leveling, when it comes to endgame, when it comes to any aspect of the game, so much is class specific in terms of how you approach it, what strategy you're going to use, what's important to you, right? So we're going to try and dig a little bit deeper. Like he's already talking about profession cooldowns, knowing what we know at this point. A survival guide for fresh 60s. What should you do as a warrior, a shaman, a priest? You're hitting 60. What are the things you're looking for so people don't make mistakes and trip up? I have some
great
stuff.
Question.
So, and you guys are about to hit 60, so I'm sure a lot of this stuff is racing through your mind right now. Like, what is I'm going to triage, the most important stuff first, and then, so it's kind of where we're at. You
want to start, Def?
Yeah. So one thing I want to say is, this goes for everyone, no matter what class you are. Do your prerequisite quests for your attunements when you can do them as early as you can. Ani attunement, right? Go to classicwow.live. There's a guide, whether you're Horde or Alliance, that will teach you how to do your Ani attunement. Can someone get a link on that real quick? Also, if you're, doing if you're doing Molten Core, if you're doing BRD, do your Molten Core attunement. Start maybe your In Dreams quest lines. All these things you're going to do for most classes. You're going to need all of this at some point. So make sure you're doing those things proactively as early as you can with your guild, with your friends. Now as a priest, okay, a lot of us are getting most of our pre-raid bis through BRD and upper black, mostly BRD, honestly, right? Some things from Strat, your True Face essences like that. Honestly, as soon as you're level 50, if you're a tailor and you're going to make True Faith, try to start farming some Fellcloth and start making Mooncloth every 4 days if you can, right? Start putting some Mooncloth aside as early as you can so you can get as much Mooncloth for your True Faith investments as quickly as possible.
What is Mooncloth? How do you get Mooncloth? Why is that important?
So great question. So what Mooncloth is basically, everyone knows Fellcloth, right? If you don't know, they drop off of certain mobs in Ashara and Fellwood. The Satire mobs, they also drop demonic runes. And what a tailor can do is every 2 Fellcloth, for every 4 days, 2 Fellcloth can be turned into Mooncloth. And it takes, I believe, 11 Mooncloth to make your True Faith vestments, along with some other things, right? Right now, Mooncloth is going for about 20-something gold a piece. That's a lot, dude. That is a lot of gold. If you can start at level 50 or so and start making Mooncloth every so often and putting that aside for your True Faith vestments, and guys, True Faith is such an amazing piece. Every priest, honestly, should go, if you're going to be healing, should go ahead and get it. It is equivalent to tier 2, if not tier 2.5. You're going to be using it for a long time, unless you're an 8-set priest in BWL who's got the renew thing. Honestly, True Faith is so good that you shouldn't pass it up. Do the quests that you have to do in order to get the items that you need. So, for instance, like I said, we talked about In Dreams, the ring from that, the tier forging seal, getting your ring caster drape from BRD, doing those quests, getting your Eye of Orgrimmar, getting starting to maybe you can even, what I did is I respected around level 58 as holy, got into BRD a lot quicker and started farming all of my pre-raid bis at that point. So another thing is, for gold, some of your items are BOE, like Sandra's Grace, things like that. It could be prudent for you to possibly go ahead and start saving up gold, maybe for that as well. But like I said, guys, a lot of it is as early as you can start, the better, and so much of it is sometimes farming gold, sometimes it's farming gear. But the great thing about a priest right now is literally, like, I would say 75 or if not more of your pre-raid bis is all from BRD. That much of it is from BRD.
Amazing.
Tanks get a lot of gear out of BRD as well, so find yourself a warrior, match up, and go do it. Another 200 IQ moment with your Mooncloth. You need that for your tier 3.
Yes, so and you can start stashing it away.
Like one of my plans is to get all the stuff I need for my my tier 3 Titanic Lionheart, like farm up everything once I finally get the last little bit into 60 there. And that way, once you have it, you bank it. You don't have to worry about inflation. You don't have to worry about needing it later. And anything you make from here on is now just like either profit or help a guildmate out or whatever.
Exactly.
Good advice.
Yeah, and one more thing I just want to talk about consumable, right? So, as a priest healer, you are kind of lucky as healers. You definitely usually do use a little bit less consumables than a DPS would. But, do things like in Goro, get your crystals, right? That helps. If you're a cook or a fisher, get your food buffs, things like that. I can tell you how many times it's so easy to get the Crystal Force buffs in Unguro, and that can help just so much, right? Or you can, do the eco farming, stuff like that. Or
get your eco quest done. Get that done early.
Seriously, get that done as soon as you can.
One thing I could have done a way better job, I don't know if it's the same thing or priest too, is like, don't buy your consumes on the auction house a few hours before raid, because it's way more expensive, dude. If you just start scanning it and looking for Nightfin like way in advance and you start scanning it, Like, you will save yourself a lot of gold, man, because I ended up having to buy some lips off the auction house at 5 gold a pop, dude. It was disgusting. Like, I was like, never again.
Jesus.
Dude.
You're gonna find probably like 3 days after reset for raid reset is probably gonna be your cheapest time because that's like the furthest from raid day.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Like so if you buy it in that time, and that's also the poor time to list it. If you're trying to make that extra money, you want to list it the day before or the day of, something like that, and you'll have a higher profit margin on your stuff, assuming it gets purchased.
That makes a lot of sense. Some stuff has surprised me of how expensive it is, dude. Ghost mushrooms are disgustingly expensive.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing.
Like, too. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I just if you have friends that have certain other professions, if you can offer something in trade, say you can make some potions, or whatever, you can make bags. Give him the mats, have them do it for you. Utilize people in your guild. You don't be afraid to message someone in your guild and say, "Hey, man, can you make some bags for me? Can you make some potions for me? Can you do this restorative potions? Things like that will help big time in MC. Fire protection potions. If you're doing BRD runs, keep the elemental fire, things like that, so you can make those fire protective potions. And like I said, restorative potions will help big time as well for certain fights.
Those are huge items to keep in mind too while you're finishing up your leveling. Like I keep preaching to my guildmates, I'm like, yo, go grind like fire elementals in Ungoro. Get your elemental fires now, where you can still get XP for killing them. I mean, there's other things you can get in that area as well, like stuff like just keeping in mind what's coming up and what you're going to be needing, and trying to get those things while you're still leveling, so that you're not just like you're basically multitasking. You're getting XP and you're getting what you need. And that's like another thing too, is like my strategy has always been when I get consumes and stuff, like I buy or I acquire what I'm gonna need for that raid week or what I think, and then I take all the extra and I send it to a bank, like another banker that I have, and I let it sit there, and then the following week I get more and I send the rest over what I don't use, and I do the same thing over and over, and by the time you get to like AQ Nax, like late game, you've got a bank full of stuff.
Docken, I love
so
what
that
you're
way
saying.
you don't have to, you're like, oh man, like I try to tell my experience from playing on the private servers, going into Nax, I went in, and it was a group of people that generally knew what they were doing for the most part, but we went in, and as far as like being prepared for it, I had it was like 2,000-3,000 gold. Some of it was like people had quit and give me some was that I had farmed, but I also had a bank full of consumables that I had farmed up and purchased. And I was able to go from, a Nubricon to KT in less than 3,000 gold in combination with the consumables I had. So my recommendation, people get like 2 to 3K and have a huge bank full of stuff so you can save money. And don't think like, think now. Like now you're like, what do you need? No one need, like, I'm going to blow this secret here for everybody, these 500 people watching.
don't tell them. No, okay.
Tell them, dude.
It's like Elemental Earth. Like I've been buying Elemental Earth for under 20 silver a piece. When AQ comes out, those things are going to be minimum 1 gold to 5 gold each, and you need them for nature pots, which are used for AQ, which is huge, and you need them for Nax, which is huge. So if I have 200 to 300 of those things sitting in my bank that I bought for pennies on the dollar, that's money that I'm spending now, which hurts to spend because I don't have hundreds of gold, but it's better than paying 500 gold later. I can pay 50 gold now.
Exactly.
Yep. Or go farm them now when no one else is farming.
Yeah. Yeah, that's even better. If you can get XP while you're doing it, there you go.
Yeah.
So one thing, to piggyback off what Docken just said, this is something I just recently started doing, and it works for me, and I really like it. I really think it was a good call, and it's to make up different bank alts that are named Cargo's Herbs, Cargo's Cloth, Cargo's Mining, Cargo's whatever, right? So anytime I just get messy bags and I'm just tempted, the not so smart part of me is tempted to just go to the vendor and just sell everything because I don't like seeing my bags messy and I'm trying to keep everything organized. I go to the mailbox and I put everything, I categorize it into those different compartments, and if I just take all the shitty herbs that I just want to vendor and I just send it to Cargo's Herbs, I send them all just a bunch of 10 slot bags that are super cheap. You set them up with their basic bank, you make orcs and you just hop in the water right behind the hidden path, you die, you're in Ratchet immediately, the bank is right there, literally takes less than 5 minutes to set up each one. And then the fact that, if, me not being that organized of a person in general, if I need iron or something, I'm like, yo, I got to go over to the mining guy. All right, go to the mining guy. And then I have all the mats there and it's on a second account for me. So I can just trade it. I don't have to go and mail it, because if you have to mail it, I'm just not going to want to do it. I'm too lazy. I'm going to buy it on the auction house. But the fact that I can trade it in real time with a second account, super helpful. And I've been doing it, and it's like a savings account for me, Doc. It's like a freaking IRA, dude. It keeps building up.
If you look at my character screen, it's like, I have 3 warriors there that I'm actually going to play, and then every other character slot is a banker named exactly that. It's like Doc Herb, Doc Pots, Doc Food, Doc this. Like, so I did this. So I tell people, I'm like, if you don't make a banker, like when you start the game, you should first thing you do is make your character, design your character, save your name. Next thing you do is log in or make another character that's such and such bank, and then you take that character and you run it to whatever you're going to run it to a bank, and then you unload that way because especially early on your bag space is so limited, and I know from my experience in the game, like this has value, that has value, this has value, and then you ship all that over and you're doing exactly what you just said there. You're not wasting anything that you collect.
And if you have just a general bank alt, I'm telling you, you're not going to use it that much because you're going to forget what you even have in the guy's thing. He's just going to have a random assortment of crap in your bank alt guy, and he's just called Cargo's Bank. It's so noob, dude. I deleted that guy. I have them all compartmentalized into specific types. Yeah.
If you don't have multiple bankers, in my personal opinion, you're probably doing it wrong.
Yo. All right.
Like, that's just...
I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah. I've got 2 right now. Yeah, that's it. So.
Yeah, I that's interesting. There's a lot of interesting stuff I'm hearing because I don't really do bank alts. So this is really interesting to me. Yeah, I don't need one. I mean, I'm skinning right now. That's all I'm doing is skinning. Right.
Okay.
That's where I made all my money for my mount. I'm switching to herb alch though as soon as I hit 60. And I've been leveling my herbalism as I can as I'm leveling. So right now I'm herbalism skinning, and then I'm going to switch to alchemy. I have a bunch of like herbs in my bank, but I never had to send them over because I just bought bank space for myself. You know.
Well, so, you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay though. Like if you get the bank alt, you don't have to buy the slots.
That's true. You don't have to buy the slots. Yeah, you have to send it back and forth.
The Key Melderon is a second account though, man. Because if I have a bank alt on one account, I'm not going to use it because I'm not going to wait 2 hours for the freaking mail to come in. Dude.
That's the problem. Right?
Like, it's
but
just,
then you're buying it. You're just buying it with real money.
But
that's true. Right?
Sorry.
But I mean, just
you heard it here. Cargos likes cash shops, guys.
No, man, you got another account. You're allowed to do that. It's not TOS.
I'm just.
And I'm saying, like,
I'm gonna have a second account, dude.
Yeah, you gotta have a second account, dude. I have a mage second account, dude. Best thing you could ever do for yourself. I'm telling you right now. Want to go to Iron Forge?
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's really
dude,
good.
40 mage on your second account. Park it in Carga, 200 IQ.
Yes. You can make bank that way. I bet, dude. Just a little macro.
I'll tell you how much gold I made on my servers like that. I think I made in like 1 hour. I was one of the first like to get like level 4 or whatever on that time. I made I can't remember. It was like 200 gold in a matter of hours, like not even. And this was like at level 40. You know, insane, dude. Insane how much gold you can make.
Yep.
At Kargath, insane.
Yeah, Kargath is insane. The Kargath Hearth is the play.
Yeah.
Is the play.
Yeah,
but
I don't think it's quite there yet, but very, very soon it will be.
But even what I'm saying right now, Docken, about like it's on a second account, I'm gonna trade it. I still just forget about what I sent to those guys. But the way I'm looking at it at this point is that it's just gonna keep accumulating, and then it's gonna be so fat one day I'm gonna log into them, and it's gonna be just filled with like hundreds of rune cloth and hundreds of mage weave. And it's like a little, rainy day fund. If it's a rainy day fund.
Man, I don't want to sort this out. Let me just vendor it all.
That was me on my hunter before.
Okay, real talk though. Like when you do that though, like what do you need to have, right? This is something we briefly mentioned before we went live here. Is as I told a new friend of mine when he's starting, he's never played WoW before for more than like just a few moments. I said, this is what you need. I said, get yourself vendor price, which tells you it's an add-on. It tells you what your stuff vendors for. Get yourself an auction house add-on, and get yourself questy. Now we're talking about money and funds and managing things, getting up to 60 and that kind of thing. But your entire journey from 1 to 60, spending every time you lose 10 silver, that adds up. So this is where you're maximizing that, where you're going up. So that vendor price add-on that tells you how much stuff's vendor for is just huge.
How much gold do you think you lose if you don't have that on the way to 60? I think you lose probably 200 gold, bro. Maybe 200 gold.
Easily.
200 gold, dude. That add-on gives you 200 gold pretty much.
Going into the auction house, right, and seeing all the people that are selling shit for less than vendor price. Buy that shit out and sell it to the fucking vendor.
First couple days I did that. I made like it wasn't a lot, but it was like literally the first day or two, like maybe 30 silver, 40 silver off the auction house, just buying. Like it was like Tiger's Eye that somebody listed for less than it sold. And I'm like buy.
Yep,
like
seriously, like it's ridiculous. People do it all the time, dude. You'll be surprised how often that shit happens. It's crazy.
It happens every day. There are auctions for almost everything, every reagent you can think of. At some point during the day, it's going to dip below vendor price. it does it like clockwork.
Really?
And if you're not,
interesting.
oh,
Yeah.
dude, it's ridiculous. I mean, I've seen
Oh my
it
God, yeah.
constantly.
Every day.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another one. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah, that's.
I was gonna say here's another one too. Like, I try to maximize what I'm making, and I'm one that like Cargus. Like I fall into that trap of like heavily vendoring a lot of things because I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this. Like I used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
But now it's like when I go to the auction house, what I'll usually do is I'll look at the price of the items that I have sitting on this banker, which I'm not pressed for space or anything like that. So they're sitting there. I look at the auction house. I'm like, it says the vendor price is 7 silver, and there's 30 of them for 7 silver, 50 copper. I'm gonna vendor it because I'm not even gonna risk losing the deposit on that. It's not even worth it. You know, you can do that, or you can hold it
Just
and
hold
go
it.
back the next time,
Yep.
and it might be 10 silver, and now you can make 3, so it's worth putting up there.
That's why it's so
those are
clutch
things
to have it on another guy though, because you don't care. Like that's just whatever to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If that's sitting on your main guy's like bag, you're like, dude, I gotta get rid of this. I'm just gonna liquidate it right now. And a lot of that shitty stuff that's sitting in your bag right now will be worth something like a year from now. You know?
Yeah.
Like it'll go up. So, you know, I just leveled
I'm already starting to
herbalism.
save resistance gear, dude. I'm already saving it.
Damn. Ahead of the curve. I got a lot of BOE blues too. You should hang on to the BOE blues. Like you get some of them if they're half decent, you just throw them on another guy and just let them sit for a while. You know.
A lot of the twink items right now that are going for dirt cheap. There's so many twink items that I got. I had a couple that were going for literally, I mean, like fractions of what they're going to be going for once people start making twinks. If you can get those items and maybe buy them out if you know something that you see it's a twink item, buy that shit and hold on to it, dude, because you can literally make 100 gold from something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, either reselling or keeping it and using it, and that's huge right now too. Like I said too, I invested money in some of that just because I'm actually intending to use it later on, and I feel like it hurts. Like I said, it hurts to buy it now, but later it's gonna hurt a lot more when it's like 100 gold for the freaking weapons I want, and I can get them for 8, 5, 10 gold right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys though. This applies to everybody. So you guys are familiar with the BOE dungeon set blues that drop out of Skola bands and stuff like that. You got like Devout, you got Magisters, you got Dread Mist, all
Some
these,
of them are
right?
good for, some of them are much better for other classes.
So in week 1, these were very expensive because very few people were 60. They're really rapidly getting devalued, and now you go and search up Magisters, Devout, whatever it is, and it's like maybe 4 or 5 gold a piece. If someone was just hitting 60 right now, I'm a little bit torn as to whether or not to recommend them to pick these up. They're very high, like you'd spend 20 gold and get like 4 pieces, which is really good. But at the same time, gear seems so easy to get, man. You can just go through BRD and just smash it. Like,
The question comes from what you're currently wearing, and then the other question comes is what alternative piece is available to easily get at that level. Like, I would one item's coming to mind, and I haven't come across the gloves, and I don't know what the stats are, but I got someone sent me the bracer, the Warrior Valor bracer, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna wear that because that's an upgrade. You know what I mean? Like, from a tanking perspective, it doesn't have bad stats, and if I'm gonna get my hit rating from other places, like I don't need to worry about getting a hit bracer or something like that, and I want to pad my stats off an item there. I'm wearing that, like I'm using that as like an item, so it's not a bad item, and unless I find because items are dropping weird right now, like some stuff that I don't know if it should be in, or it's like where it's coming from, like bosses are dropping things I don't know if they're supposed to, but either way, like if I don't have something better, it's definitely a solid item to have until you get to a further point, down the line.
It's it's really if you have a little bit of understanding of it, can really go a long ways. And one thing that I've really noticed myself is like, guys, I can't tell you how many times I would run around and have to delete shit out of my fucking bags. And anyone who watches me streams knows my bags are always full.
Dude, I don't know why.
I'm guilty.
I don't understand.
I'm guilty.
Sell your shit whenever you can.
It's so true.
Empty your bags whenever you can. Get bigger bags.
I've never valued inventory more in my life than playing a playing a Warlock, dude. Playing a Warlock in Classic WoW. I have 2 Soul Shard bags on, 20 slaughters. I want to get the 24 slaughters. So I have to have 16s out there because I have run around with 40 shards. You honestly need to, bro. I don't know how you can have 1 Soul Shard bag. It was a mistake. That's a recommendation I would make the Warlock right now hitting 60. That's why I'm doing this type of stuff. Go get those 20 slot Soul Shard bags and rock 2 of them, man. Just rock 2 of them. You can always keep another bag in your bag, so if you need to, you can swap out that. You can like swap it around, right? And put that other bag, like a 14 slotter in or something.
Brilliant, dude.
Yeah, you can do that.
I'm like, but what if you need bag space? Like, you delete shards and put the actual bag in.
Exactly, which I've had to do when we're doing this, like the spell cleave type stuff. But man, I value every inventory slot, and this is one thing you gotta realize, guys. one of the best ways to make gold in this game is straight up vendoring stuff, running like doing Stratholme, doing some of the end game dungeons, clearing it out really fast, and just vendoring a lot of the greens and grays, and selling some stuff too. So every single inventory slot that you're filling up with crap, like you're just keeping there and you're not messing with, is losing you tons of gold like every week. Every week, man. So just keep it clean.
So true. Yeah.
There's a quick question in Twitch chat that was asked about, because we've been talking about Twinks a good bit with some of the items and stuff. And he said, well, was there going to be an XP stop? Like, how do you manage that, essentially? And the way you manage that is by being willing to die if you aggro mobs out in the world, because you don't get you don't want to get XP. But the thing is, when you're low level, like you're 10, you're 5, you're 7, or whatever, it's going to take you a while. Go out and explore every single zone you ever think you're going to go to. Clear out STV, clear out Highlands, clear out South Shore. Like, you walk through, explore the whole map, so you don't accidentally get exploration XP. Yeah. And the other thing too is make sure you leave yourself, like, if you're gonna go 29, you're gonna go 19, or whatever you're gonna be, as soon as you ding that level, you're done. You don't kill another single thing. You don't turn in another quest. You don't do anything. You sit there at 1 XP of 20,000 or whatever you need. And that helps prevent that. Yeah. So just to answer that question.
Makes a lot of sense.
So that answers my question, because I don't know anything about twinking. That's the only aspect of the game I have never attempted.
It's fun, and the other thing too, if you want to get gearing out of dungeons and stuff, you clear it with the main. The low level guy goes in, dies, doesn't get XP, and then you clear with the main. You go to the boss with the loot that you want. You let the alt res up, run all the way into where the boss is. The alt pulls the boss, dies, and then the main loots it and just say alt hit need, so you don't get XP for killing it.
Right. So there is no way to turn off XP in Classic, right?
No.
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Okay. Because someone asked me that, and I was like, I have no idea, because I never would want to do that. Yeah. So okay. I don't know if they imported that from retail or not. Yeah.
You guys have any sense of what professions are doing the best right now?
Dude, I tell you what, I see some herbs going for insane prices. Yep. Heart of the Wild. Some herbs for ridiculously high prices right now.
Yeah.
Anyone else see that?
Ghost mushrooms are just insane, dude.
Ghost mushrooms. Oh my god.
Stack of ghost mushrooms for 35 gold. I actually had to buy that, dude. I'm still upset with myself. I know, man. I had to buy that. You have to.
Well, you know why? It's probably because there's not enough people that can actually pick them yet. And the people that can pick them aren't selling them because they're using them.
And there aren't that many places for. So if you're Mardon farming ghost mushrooms is great. Hinterlands farming ghost mushrooms is great. And the Hinterland spot is always there's always competition there. I'll say another thing that really pissed me off, and I was leveling tailoring, right? And I wanted to make some money for Runecloth bags. So like, let me go to Everlook and hit up Kia and get the fucking pattern. Little did I know
how many attempts
what it was going to be like. Guys, I literally spent probably almost a day of playtime trying to get that pattern.
Oh my god.
Not even joking.
That's insane. Dude.
Not even joking, okay? It's going for almost 100 gold in the auction house, the pattern. And there is at least 11 or 12 people there waiting at all times. Not to mention, if you go to the corner in the room where she sells the pattern, you can actually kill people that are waiting there and not pull the guards. So everyone's killing each other there, right? Non-stop. Everyone's killing each other. It's a complete bloodbath. And you have gnomes running in and through her, trying to get you to click on her, trying to get them so you hit. And so every second you have to, there's a macros you can do, there's things you can do to make it so that you can interact with her really quick. But for the most part, I was just clicking, scrolling, and you can't just leave the window open. You can't. You have to open the window, see if it's there, close it. Open the window, see if it's there, close it. So I ended up getting her other patterns, which were the Runecloth gloves, which were the enchant chest pattern, and I literally saw the Runecloth bag pattern there. But I was so used to hitting the escape button so quick that I hit the escape button and they were gone within a second. I opened it back up, they were gone. I wanted to kill myself, dude. I wanted to kill myself. Because in the whole time, too, there's people there killing you, right? Because they can literally attack you there while you wait for her. Because in that one corner,
you're so cutthroat, man, about that kind of stuff, dude.
It's actually ridiculous. I spent I can't even talk about it because I got so triggered. So triggered.
That's so funny, dude. That's so funny, man. Yo, you know you can get on top of Gadget Sand, by the way, and just pump people from the top of that little cage?
See, you know, that's
Really?
something too. Like, I
Yeah,
thought
there's
there
a
were
lot of
guards
places
on the
to
roof
do that
there.
right
Like,
now.
shouldn't the guards be there? Because people were, I had some guys in the guild like, yo, there's some asshole up on top of the roof, blah blah blah, doing this and that. And I'm like, isn't that supposed
Booty
to be...
Bay.
I
Did you see the guys in Booty
Private
Bay that are doing
servers,
it
they
too?
got up there.
You can run shit from on top of Gadget Sand. Let me tell you right now, you can drop
so on top of
infernals on
Gadget-
people.
Yep.
You can yeah.
You can do on top of Gadgeton. You can do in Everlook in that corner, like I said. You can do in Booty Bay on top of the pillar. So there was a 60 hunter when I was level 52 cargos, literally sitting on top of Booty Bay, just sniping
Yeah.
everyone. Right? I get up, but I'm level 52. I get up there as a shadow priest. I destroyed her, dude. Killed her 3 times. Female Night Elf Hunter felt so good. So there's 2 spots at Booty Bay that you can snipe people if you're a caster. There's a spot in Everlook. There's a spot in Gadgeton, and I'm hoping like. Do you think people are gonna get banned if they keep doing that? Because
I don't
listen,
think
the people
so.
that are in Everlook
the
killing
question
people
is, do
over
you
and over
think
again.
Blizzard
Like,
will
that's
do something about it? Like, if they'll just throw guards there.
Why would
Or
they though,
they'll
man?
ban
It's a
around.
PvP server, and
just-
it's phase 1. You can do dishonorable kills. People are saying that,
Yeah,
that a
but
GM
that's not
intervened with
intended,
Gadget
though.
Sand.
That,
What?
that is not intended. Like that, there is no way that it's intended that you kill people just by being in that little corner and Everlook. Inside, you're
Yeah,
inside of
yeah.
a building, dude. You're inside of it, like you're
Those
inside of
things.
the auction house room.
Yeah, those things in my mind are like
guess.
not. It's not a skilled PvP. It's not even like you just got railroaded in Blackrock Mountain. It's not. It's literally like you're using something that's like not a design of the game. It's just like, oh, you found like a little glitch that you're sitting in that the guards
Yeah.
can't see. You know, you're like standing right in front of it in a basket or something.
What
stupid.
about the Gadget
Yeah,
Sand
like, it
one
just
though?
says,
The Gadget Sand
you
one,
know-
you can go hop up onto that little cage and shoot people, and you can be shot up there too.
Yeah,
Well,
that one's not as bad
like
as
some
the
of
other
that
one.
stuff you can't get like as a warrior. Like if I see so I can't get up there. Like I'm just at the mercy of them.
No, you can get up there.
pelting me while I'm
You can get up there.
Well, I'm just saying, like, while I'm trying,
You
like,
can't
certain
do much
places,
up there
certain
is what you
places.
mean.
Oh,
Like,
you
while
can't
I'm
do
trying
much
to,
up
like,
there,
jump
yeah.
up the side of a
Yeah.
wall, on like climb a thing, get up here, do this, and all the while I'm just getting frostbolted, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, very skilled, bro.
Yeah, it's
Like,
definitely
you know,
frustrating.
like those are the kind of things I'm all for. Like, just throw a guard up there and let the guard just murderize anyone that climbs up there, or let the guards on the ground just have like give them fucking death grip or something, and they can rip people off and just murder.
Yeah,
people.
See,
that's the
like-
one. That, yeah.
Goblins death gripping people on top of roofs and shit.
That's
No,
funny.
but you're
I mean,
right.
that's definitely a change, but like it's
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just preventing.
But the
people from
gadget one,
using
it'll,
something in my
at least
mind.
what I know, like the gadget one has for a while, like you said, Nith. The one in Taryn Mill, right? People always used to mages and priests can slow fall or levitate from the cliffs where those dudes are and go all the way to the top of Taryn Mill and kill people. Like that shit
That's
has
funny,
existed
bro.
for a long time, right? I
Yeah.
used to go up there as a priest and kill mages that would go up the no mages. There was a no mage in particular on private server. Used to go up there all the time, and I knew how to get up there. So I would and you have to do it perfectly. You have to line up to the point where you levitate at the right spot and line up so that you land right on top of the Tyrant Mill Inn. So stuff like that's cool. But I know for a fact that the corner in Everlook is not like that's a bug that should not exist where you can kill people in the corner. The one in Booty Bay, I gotta say that did work on private servers as well too. So these things have been around for a while, but I don't know if they're like, is that intended? Like, and I always feel weird. Like I only make sure that if I go there I'm only killing the person that's doing it. I never use it to kill people that are not doing
I
it.
think
know
you
what I
can
mean?
just.
Well, here's the other thing too. In some of those situations, like they can hit you, but if you hit them, the guards kill you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like that's wrong.
But you can
in
get
my
up to
opinion,
them
I
though.
guess.
That's the thing. You could get up to them, do it in the same way they got up there. It's a clever use of the
if
physics.
you know how to
like-
do it.
If you know how to do it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You just have to learn how to know how to do it. Like for example, for us, we were in Gadgetan we were just getting opened up on in Gadgetan, and we had to figure out on the fly how to get up there. So we ended up using invis pots and whatever we could to try and figure out how we got up there. We eventually came up there and killed them and stuff. But I don't know. It was fun, dude. It was fun dropping infernals in the inn and stuff.
A lot of fun. Yeah.
I love Infernal, dude. I love Infernal. It's such a cool ability. Infernal is
Yeah.
amazing.
I gotta rain on your parade, Death Camp, real quick.
What?
Guess how many kills it took me to get to the pristine Yeti horns?
How many?
738.
5. I was
You're
about to say.
kidding me.
Wow.
You're kidding me.
I
That's
killed
crazy.
5 Yetis, and that was it. Yep.
What?
Yep.
Dude, that's like the what is it, the gem,
The
the one
Zephyr
outside
horns?
of Pokemon you gotta get. You either get it like the first 5 kills, or you're there for
my
700
God,
kills.
dude.
Oh, Crom's Amulet? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Calm down.
That's what it
We
is.
did that with Aesthetics, our buddy Aesthetics. It literally took him about an hour to get that. We got it in like the first 5 minutes, me and Vomp, and the aesthetics took him like an hour.
We should tell everyone about AU.
When I got
yeah.
that quest,
Yeah.
I walked in the cave. The group had killed the mob. I wasn't even there to help fight it, and it was all the first mob we killed.
That is crazy.
So
man.
there was this our buddy Aesthetics is a mage, and he was getting ganked by this. No. So the story is that this dude AU was a no mage, right? He's a no mage Alliance Scarum, and my buddy Aesthetics is Horde, obviously. So this gnome's getting like annihilated by 2 mobs, right? So Aesthetics is like, I'm gonna sheep him and get him to full health because he killed the 2 mobs. Aesthetics sheeps him, and he gets him to full health. Well, the sheep breaks open, and this dude AU starts fighting him, right? And he's like, "Bro, I just helped you, bro." And he's like, so this dude kills him, and he's
so
like, he
pissed.
raged for like a day and a half about this. If you
No,
find
he's still
this guy,
raging, dude. Yeah,
he's still
Kill him,
raging.
yeah, he's
Kill
still
him on
raging.
sight.
Yeah.
Kill on site list. I think I made it on a couple people's kill on site list, dude. They message me on Discord all the time after we get into a fight or some kind of altercation. People get so mad, dude. They get so mad. That's one of the things I've had a lot of fun with, though. Just standing right at the doors of
too.
BlackRock, dude. I just stand right there and I just gatekeep it, dude. You shall not
I can't
pass.
wait till phase 2, bro. I cannot.
Me too. That's one thing I'll recommend too. Okay, so here's like a best practice. This is something that I do that I think it's a good system now. I have my whole action bars configured this way. Don't leave out into the open world without a baseline level of consumes. Just the basic stuff. Some grenades if you're engineering, some band-aids, some superior health potions. You don't need to have the crazy raid ones. But always keep a certain level, like a clean level of certain potions. Swiftness potions, superior healing potion, band-aids, and grenades are really like the essentials. Don't leave home without them, man. It's like your everyday carry out in the open world type stuff. You should always have that stuff on you. If you don't have them and you're out in the world, you're wrong. You should go back and get them, and then go back out and do it that way. But one thing I was gonna say too about recommendations to new level 60s. This is what I would do if I was hitting 60 right now. I would go and try and find some high-speed groups of people who are in guilds or whatever, and they're trying to do BRD and Elbers super efficiently to get the last piece of item that's super high impact for them, like a Hodge, like a Briarwood Reed, and say, look, I'm not gonna roll on that, man. That's all you. But can I come along or whatever, and try and tag along with those groups, dude, because they slay, and then you can get all the gear so much faster. Like go try to find those groups is what I'm saying. Like I envy those people hitting 60 right now, and they're linking up with people in the guild that are just only in there for Briarwood Reed or Hodge or Second Wind or something like that.
I had people in my guild straight telling me like, man, I can't wait till you guys hit 60, so you guys can carry me through when I'm 58 and 59. And I'm like, what? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm. Like I said, I'm literally half a bar from 60.
Half a bar from 60.
And not even like half a bar. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
How do you sleep with half a bar to 60? How do you even go to sleep, man?
I kind of debated everyone. I have this. So my first time I ever dinged 60 was in Winter Spring, right? And I really wanted to kind of like recreate that moment. So I was like, guys, I'm gonna, and I had to be up like 5:30 this morning to go to work, and it was like 12. It was like midnight last night. I was like, I have to go to bed. And then a Docken like hosted me, and then somebody else hosted me, and I'm like, God, I gotta go to bed. And then so I told everybody, like I said, listen, we'll do it after GMA tomorrow. We'll make it an event. And then Melron's probably gonna hit 60 night too, so we'll have this like Def Camp Melron hit level 60 a day thing. So,
dude, I just tried to get your pattern, and I did the same, and I clicked on it and fucking got killed by the guard.
Oh no! Oh no, dude.
Yeah. Dude, you can go in the corner, bro, the left hand corner, and just start blowing everybody up with the chain line.
Okay, so
you might get banned.
Another thing when we get to 60, right? And you were asking about professions and stuff like that, and that's one thing. Like, I am an advocate of everybody that's willing to. I mean, with the exception of maybe a few people for primary, like your guild enchanter or two, your guild alchemist or two. Like, is that as many people as possible to get engineering, just for the not only the PvE benefit, but the fact like we don't know how it's gonna play out here. We don't know how buffs are gonna play out. We don't know how guilds are gonna be versus like they were in the private servers, where it was like you were fighting like every raid day. If they knew when you were fighting to not get wiped and stuff. So like I try to advocate to our people to be prepared for that. And the consideration that I'm saying is basically when you get to 60 is like if you have leveled up your professions, that excellent, great. But if you have just done like skinning for money, like you were saying, Melderon, something like that, and you're getting your other profession, is you can then make your alt your gatherer and make your main. So you might make like your main might be alchemist engineering because you've collected all the recipes, and your second character once they're leveled up is going to be your herbalist and your miner. And what that does, or maybe like because my second character is going to be like herbalism and enchanting for my shaman, and my other warrior is going to be mining and herbalism, so that way I'm always got herbalism on them because it feels bad to pass.
Docken's actually Docken's speaking the words of wisdom. So right now I have it right now on my main, on cargoes, I have mining engineering, right? And then on my alt, I have herbalism alchemy. They're both pretty much skilled up to max right now. They can get everything I need them to get. But when I'm out getting herbs, Docken, with my mage, I always see mining nodes everywhere, just in proximity of the herbs, and I can't touch them. And I think to myself, dude, this mage has huge bags, free bags. Like, my warlock is suffering, has no inventory space. Why do I have mining on him? Like, if I had mining herbalism on this guy, it would be a wrap. He could just be gathering everything. So I don't really want to re-level mining on this. Like, I already have it set up, but it's suboptimal. I think 100% that's the play. The gathering on the alt on the second account is ideal.
I'm doing mining.
That maximizes your main for the PvE progression. Sorry, and then you, as you said, like while you're leveling and stuff, you can take your alt out and just go farm your face off with them.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm doing that on Chef Camp. I'm doing mining herbalism.
Why is he Chef Camp?
Why is he Chef Camp? Because he's a cook. Yeah, he's a cook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a Tarn cook, dude.
Oh, all right, nice.
Yeah.
Tarn Shaman cook.
Yep, Tarn Shaman cook. Yep. Good old Chef Camp. Yep. You can take my horn, but you can never take my freedom.
Is it SHEF or C? Or
you can't have the word chef in game.
Really?
Yeah, so you can't have like chef. You can't have like
it's a title.
King. You can't have like King Camp or Chef Camp or like Dark or like Lord
It's like
Camp.
title-esque names.
Yeah.
Yeah, for RP
So
reasons. Yeah,
it's like she SHEF Camp. Chef Camp. Yeah.
That's Fune.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, here the Docken is going to re-roll Paladin. Yeah, I heard that.
Slice.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
I'm not some huge brain gold farmer. I'm pretty bad at farming gold overall. I do it out of necessity because we all have to. But so I see there's a lot of people in our guild right now, warriors even, that have epic mounts, that have hundreds and hundreds of gold, killing it, and I see them just grinding dungeons, man. But I wonder exactly what they're doing, man. I think what they're doing is
BOEs, bro, like Cassandra's Grace or like
that type
or
of
like
stuff.
With a Capicator or shit like that, maybe.
I think they're just vendoring shit, dude. I think they're vendoring. Yeah, I think they're just vendoring shit.
Another thing, right? You're looking at items, and people like I have people in my guild, like some of them are very new to vanilla, and they're asking, well, what do I do with this? What do I list? What do I vendor? And I'm like, I look at the item, I'm like, well, it was like bare shoulders around like the early 30s, and I'm like, no, because everyone's getting broad shoulders, they're not going to pay for that. Like, you should get rid of it. You know what I mean? Like, that's an example of something that an item that does or doesn't have value in the auction house. So knowing some of those things, knowing what is or isn't sought after, like, you know, your bear, your eagle, your monkey, you know, those are always going to be sought after, but the weird stuff is not always. Like tiger, maybe some depending, but at the same time, like knowing that is a benefit to it's depending on, like, because I wouldn't take that as a tank because there's no stam on it, but like a DPS, or you might swap a piece. But dude, if you're carrying around multiple gear sets while leveling with 10 slot bags, you're probably also doing it wrong.
True.
If you're making money anyway. But having like that kind of knowledge is important. And then, like you said, dude, running the 5-mans is huge money. Like people are like, how did I make money? And that's what I did. Like as a tank, it's like, dude, I just like running 5-mans. It's fun. You take people in, you just bang it out, and then eventually people are like, I need a tank. Like, you got 20 gold, I'll come tank it for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's weird because I used to think, okay, you guys, they're running Strathorn, they're selling righteous orbs, they're going to the righteous, but then I say that to them and they're like, nah, righteous orbs are all right, they're fine, but it's not really the big deal.
How much are they going for now, by the way?
I don't even know, man, but I think they're in there just grinding the dungeons hyper efficiently, doing big pulls, and then vendoring everything or sending it to bank alts or whatever,
dude,
and then just selling it on the auction house. I think that is the best way to make gold right now, to be honest.
I had like 4 greens on my bag yesterday that sold for like 5 gold each. They were 2-handers and shit, you know what I mean? That's like,
oh dude, that's so
like
good.
20 gold right there, dude. Yeah. Oh, I know,
like,
right?
Oh, yes, 5 gold, 4 gold, 3 gold, whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes like, oh, I needed it by accident. Oops.
I wish there was an add-on that just deleted anything out of your bag that was worth like 30 silver or less. I wish that add-on existed, dude. Like, If it's just, I don't know, man. Like, because sometimes you get a little recipe or something in there that like sells for 5 silver, and then you miss looting. It's.
Well, that's where it's important again. Look, like if you run into that situation, like if you're mid-instance run because you jumped in a group and it happened to be close by and you didn't get to go to town or vendor, and you have a bag full of crap. Like, I always try to find one slot that I can leave empty. If I gotta destroy, like, mage food, or I'll pick something like, what's the least valuable item, like, in my bag, or, like, eat some extra, like, you know, you get random, like, pie and this and cheese and stuff. You're like, well, let me just eat that. And, like, so you don't lose that one spot, so if there's, like, a greed roll on something, you're not greeting in it. And then you feel like an asshole because the guy next to you sees a sparkle, he shift clicks and loots it, and you're like, oh,
dude,
shit, I actually want
Meldron does that shit to me all the time. I'm like, wait, don't
he's your brother. He's allowed to. He's your brother.
Like, I'll have, like, full bags, right? And then I'll be like, oh, nice, I won the roll. And then you just loot it and get it. And I'm like, fuck my bag.
I've never done that once in classic.
Yeah, that's
done it, honestly, like 10 times, probably not even noticing.
Dude, I do shit like that to my brother all the time. We play games, like, we're doing a quest, and he's, like, fighting the mob. I let him get aggro, and I click the thing and loot it. He's like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, you're my brother. Dude,
first of all, Meldron will, like, loot shit, like, mid-pool, right? All the time.
Exposed, dude.
Yeah, of course
In combat looting.
I'll be like fighting 5 guys. He's always sitting there like 10 feet away mining something. Fucking mining. Free money, guys.
If I'm in between the swing time where I can loot as much.
Yeah, and then, you know, it's like, oh yeah, and it always loots first, right? So, like, you know, the quest items that, like,
dude, every quest we've done in dungeons, you've gotten done before me.
No, that's not true. Not true.
It is true. Go look at the streams.
Not true.
The brotherly love.
Make shit up.
I just learned from you. That's all. I just learned from the best.
Yeah,
you know?
now it changes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny, man.
Oh my god.
That is funny, dude. I don't know, man. BRD is just the best thing ever, though. BRD is amazing.
BRD,
like
BRD makes me HARD.
You can get dark iron ore in there too. So much. If you're leveling mining, dude, go do BRD, man. If there's no other miner in there, you're gonna and you're doing runs, like you're resetting the instance every 15 minutes or something like that. You go in there. There's always like freaking 10 nodes. You will power level your mining in that place, getting the dark iron. I've just been vendoring it. Do you think it's worth it? So I think I have a couple hundred of these
dark iron ore. Dude, bro, you can sell that shit for mad money.
Maybe later, dude, in like a year. Like
hold on to it, maybe.
I don't know. What do you think about that, Docken? I mean, I already probably have like 200 dark iron, but I'm just vendoring it now because it's just too much. Like every time I run BRD, it's there, and it vendors for kind of a lot. It's like 50, 60 silver or something every time you vendor it. I don't know if I should really hang on to it.
I honestly, like, here's the reality. Like, the cost to get the reputation you need to make the dark iron armor is fairly substantial. Like, you got to put in a lot of cores, you got to put in a lot of stuff, at least to get the exalted. Like, the revered is all you need for now, unless the boots are in. I don't even know if the boots are in. But the reality is, you can get a full fire set without using a single piece of dark iron.
100%.
Like, I'm not even advocating that anybody from our guild make the set. I'm just hoping we get the drops in MC. And the thing is people already killed Rag and they weren't even wearing like full FR gear, so like it's just a matter of figuring it out.
Yeah,
that's my take on it. Like,
need.
Like, I'm gonna go get the
So what does that mean for dark iron? Worth it? Worth it, or more useless? Vendor, or hold on to it.
But if you don't have the space, obviously vendor. At least it's something. But if you had the space, I would hold as much as I could, as long as I could. You know, I have mining, and I'll get to the smelting for that eventually. If you need somebody to smelt it up, I could do it for you. But you know what I'm saying? Because it's 8 to 1. You know what I mean? You're gonna, it's gonna take a lot of space.
True. I gotta do that. It's in BRD still. That's where you get the quest, right?
So, yeah, maybe you got a 60 guy that's already got max mining. They can just do it for you.
Yeah. Good to know.
But there'll be some value, because like again, I'm saying get the fire set, but then the thing is, when you get to like 4 horsemen later on, if you're gonna be wearing like the dark iron helmet, dark iron legs to max out your FR on like 2 pieces, and that way you get as much as you can without sacrificing the ability to mitigate, then those become a little bit better because the amount you get from them, plus the stamina, the armor class on them versus like wearing mail legs and BWL, stuff like that. But that's when having that, then you also need to worry about your set bonuses as a warrior from tier 3. So some of that depends on what tier 3 pieces you have to get your 4 piece and so on and so forth. So that's something that down the line, they may be something that like I would consider buying and re-enchanting with the FR enchant just because of that. But again, that's I'm not in a hurry to get it, I'll say.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Makes sense.
I want to mention something real quick that made me a little bit of money when I needed it. So if you find yourself around level 45, 46, 47, trying to get some gold, the turtles in first of all, the turtles in Teneris, in southern Teneris, the turtles in the hinterlands. They drop the hardened shell, or whatever. Like 4 or 5 of them sells for like 50 silver, and they drop almost like all the time. I think I made in like 1 hour 50 gold, something like that, farming it.
Wow.
Which isn't bad for right now, right?
That's really good. Yeah, that's amazing, dude.
And if you're a mage or something like that, and you can go to the hinterlands and farm all those turtles really quick, you can make a ton of money. And if you're a skinner, you can skin them and do that's even better, right? So, so anyone who's around that level and you have those high level turtles, you can make a lot of money off them.
That's crazy, man. I never heard about that. I know like making soothing turtle bisque and vendoring that. I heard about that turtle farm.
It's all about the gray items. So sell vendor that shit for mad.
I see.
Yeah.
I mean, Mardon is insane too, by the way. Like, this is not going to apply to that many people, but having an alt that can come with you into Mardon so you can actually kill Rock Rip too, and then get the mushrooms, which you're selling for a ridiculous amount, is probably like, I don't know, man. If you do that with Rock Rip and the current way mushrooms are selling and stuff, at least on Scarab, it's probably like 100 gold an hour, man. Like, it's
wow.
It's crazy, man. Those mushrooms, it's over a gold each, like almost 2 gold for a mushroom.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, because you need them for the shadow power elixirs. You need them for lips, and you also need them for the dye for you, Defcamp, for your class.
And they're so fucking rare.
Yeah. Well, you get them in Mardon. Every princess run, you get a couple.
Right.
Every princess run.
You only get a couple, right? So like the biggest places like Mara and
something. I don't even know what the other places
the hinterlands where those oozes are. There's always a few there. But the thing is, dude, there aren't that many other places other than that. Like,
not that many.
There really aren't. Yeah.
And you only get 1 per loot. So you know how when you loot like a blind weed, you get like 3 sometimes.
2 or 3.
You only get 1 mushroom every time you loot it. Yeah. So that's a big reason of why I got this mage up to 62, because I want to go in there with my main and be able to mine get those mushrooms, man. Because I already have mining, and the mushrooms are so valuable, dude. And I need them as a warlock. I need the lips. Dude. I have massive threat issues.
Yeah.
Yo. What about you as a shaman, though, Meldoran? Is there any life hacks, any itemization hacks that you can do to?
Yeah. So from starting off, I guess I recommend you could do cargoes as method or mine. It doesn't really matter. The downside with cargoes as method is you're gonna have to respec pretty early, and a gold at level 25, 29 is if you got the money, do it, right. So put points in elemental first. But you're going to be meleeing, right? You're not going to be casting. You're going to be using the powerful shocks and lightning bolts to pull and blah, blah, blah. And then you're going to, once Flurry comes online, just stack agility and pop and just run Flurry. And then around 40, it's up to you, right? I didn't respec elemental to 58. Because we were doing a lot of fun. So I did a 50-50 world questing and dungeons. And whenever we did dungeons, Kigo and I would do double Ravager, right? So I stayed enhancement for a long time. But when we got into BRD, I'm like, you know what? I'm switching elemental, and I probably should have switched around like level. Actually, no, because Mardon is a nightmare. So don't do Maraudon as elemental, because
resist.
Well, first of all, Princess is 100% nature resistant.
100% nature resistant.
So you're not gonna be able to damage her at all. I'd wait until after Maraudon. If you're doing any type of dungeons, I would wait until after Maraudon, go elemental, and then it's GG, dude. Like, you're gonna be pulling insane amounts of damage. So the 30-0-21 or 31-0-20, whatever you end up doing, is your go-to. It's a jack of all trades spec, I would say. It's excellent for farming. It's excellent for PvP. It's great for dungeons. It's really pretty okay for healing. Maybe if your guild is kind of like, if they're really good, you're not going to need to go full resto.
Especially if you're a melee healer.
You can even if your guild is okay with an elemental DPS, you're fine doing that too. It is the go-to spec for endgame for me. I'm going to probably go full resto for this first couple weeks until I see how our guild's doing, and I'm going right back to 30-0.
That is so cool though. So you have a quality of life build where you can be functional and dangerous out in the open world and still perform in raids and basically can have your cake and eat it too a little bit. Like, be kind of an Ellie shaman and also heal. I love that. Those are my favorite type of hybrid builds, man. Like
shaman life, bro.
Yeah.
30-0-21 is so good. And
it really is.
Anyway, but so that's so pre-raid bis. Make sure you farm your pre-raid bis. Make sure you go do BRD. Make sure you go do Strat Dead for the chest,
Robes
animated
with
chain
exalted.
necklace, robes. Yeah, so make sure you do all that. And that's really about it. Shaman's pretty simple. There's really not a lot you need to do. As far as professions are concerned, I mean, like, you know, if you really want to do engineering, go engineering.
How are they for farming?
Excellent.
Shamans?
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, that's really I think it's really underappreciated how well. Here's the big caveat though with farming. On private servers, DME's farms were a joke for a shaman. Like, I was able to, you know, blow through DME's lasher farming. It
I
was
remember.
really easy.
Yeah.
You basically make sure you have a shield. Make sure you're in high armor. You're in high armor, but with LE stat priority, so intellect and spell power.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to pull the lashers with the chain lightning, drop fire nova totem, chain lightning whenever it's off cooldown, rinse and repeat fire nova totem, and they'll go down very, very, very fast. Extremely fast. Make sure you have Eye of the Storm, so when they crit you, you'll proc no pushback.
Has that been a new thing for you? Have you always known Fire Totem? Is that high impact?
So for farming or for like
totems,
DPS?
Just
For
for
both.
everything. Or I'm thinking about Magma Totem, right? That's what you're talking about. Right?
Magma Totem. So Magma Totem is great. The only thing with Magma Totem when you're solo farming, it may pull threat off of you. Maybe not.
Hmm.
I still have to try that. But what you could do if you really want to maximize uptime is drop Fire Nova, and then drop Magma as soon as Fire Nova's off, and then because Fire Nova has a longer cooldown than Magma Totem. Magma Totem has no cooldown. No, it doesn't. Oh, let me check. Magma Totem has no cooldown, so you could Fire Nova, and while Fire Nova's on cooldown, Fire Nova's got a 15-second cooldown. Drop Magma, so you have constant fire damage going out, and then just Chain Lightning all on cooldown. Use Rock Biter. The reason you're going to use Rock Biter is you're going to tab target whatever you're farming. You're going to stack threat on each thing, so that when you do put your Fire Nova down, they won't kill it, right? So the reason that's really important why you want to use Rock Biter is because you want to put as much threat as possible on your targets that you're farming, and that's how you farm as an elemental shaman. It is
As Uther's
What's
strength trinket will help a lot too. The one that puts a
Yep.
shield on you. Yeah.
that's really good.
Yeah,
Just make
yeah.
sure you have high armor and a shield. Don't do it with the staff. And
a
you
dagger
can do the
or a
standard
warhammer.
30-0-21.
Have you tried
have a
tanking
farm.
BRD in your spec right now? Could you?
Not in LE. No, not in LE. No, I
He's
no,
got a
right,
lot of
right
leather
before I
and
went LE, I
cloth.
tanked one boss.
What if
I
you had a
tanked
bunch of gear
all-
for it though in your current spec? I wonder because we were running with the druid earlier today, and he was rolling on healing gear even though he was tanking as a druid, and I was
Yeah,
like,
you can
damn,
do
dude,
it.
pro strat. This guy was rolling for everything. But it was
Yeah, you can do it. I mean, like, the thing
Fucking
is, you lose shield specialization. Okay, you lose flurry. Flurry's big for threat generation. Other than that, yeah, I mean, as long as you have the right stat priority, sure, you can tank an LE. It's not going to be as robust as enhancement, but it'll
Yeah.
work in a pinch, you know. But yeah, so farming as an elemental shaman, probably no one really thinks about it. It's very good. It's not, you know, it's the only issue is stacking enough threat before you drop your fire totem. That's the most important thing because your fire totem is going to get killed, and you're going to be like, shit, you know.
And you're gonna have to heal yourself at certain points, right? Yeah.
You're gonna have to, yeah, but you have lesser healing wave. dude. It's
And
good.
Eye of the Storm,
Yeah.
which gives
Yeah,
you
you
that
have Eye of the
free,
Storm, yeah. Lesser healing wave is really quick when you spec
Yeah.
into it. Not spec into it. Sorry, it's a 1.5 second class, no matter what.
As an LE shaman, you need a mage alt to give you water, man. That's all I'm thinking right
That's
now.
the only
Like
thing. You gotta be
hundreds
friend
of
of
water,
mage.
dude. Hundreds of water.
You have to be friend
Yeah.
mage. That's the most important thing. Yeah, you're right, Cargos. Like that's huge.
Exactly.
But when DM comes out, you should be able to do DMA's farming no problem as an shaman. And you can do open world farming like right now. You could probably do some Mara packs too, like those snakes and the friggin' what else is in Mara that you could probably farm? The snake packs, I think, or they're all non-elites.
Right. And then
Maybe
kiting
even
as
some.
well, you know.
I think you
kiting,
probably could even do some of the prison mobs in the prison. When you first walk into BRD, you could probably farm them.
Dude, those mobs in the beginning of BRD are juicy, man. That's my plan. I think those are going to be really good to farm. Yeah. Been making good money off those.
Yeah. So, yeah, Shaman's strong, man. Like there's 30-0-21 is the go-to. The dream is get to the point where you're in the status in your raid where you can drop full resto, and then you're good. Like the only thing you're losing purification. Okay. You're losing mana tide, but if you're the melee shaman, you're only buffing yourself with that. So if you can mitigate the mana downtime using consumables, you don't need mana tide. And you may lose restorative totems depending if you're putting points in title mastery or not. So you're not going to be as good as a full resto. You're not going to heal as much as a full resto. But if you're a good healer and you know how to snipe heals and you're good at predicting damage, you could definitely out heal the full restos. Absolutely, you could.
Snipe heals.
You know what I mean?
Sounds like a really fun spec. If I were to play Shaman, I want to play that spec, man.
Oh
Yeah.
my god,
You
Carter.
know, another interesting thing when you're talking about, I know you're multiple specs and builds and stuff, and the creativity that you have with your shaman things, Melderon. But something like to keep in mind, I think, and then as you mentioned, Kargas, you got this druid that's rolling on everything. Like, you know, this could be like for an administrative like guild standpoint. Something to consider is whenever we are distributing loot, particularly when you're going kind of like your second round of loot, where like a lot of the main items have gone to mains and stuff, and people are like, well, no one needs this for their main. Does anybody want it for off spec? Is that we kind of require people to declare a secondary build that they want to gear out for, so you don't have like shamans being like, I want Ellie gear, I want enhanced gear, I want healing gear, and they're like taking sets of everything and rolling against people for, you know, all type sets. So it's just something to consider is like, you know, maybe when other people or viewers as players are leveling up and they want to try to have, like, you know, I already know what guys do. They say I want weapons for enhanced so I can go PvP, and I'm like, that's cool. You'll be high on that consideration list when it comes time to be handing them out in that manner. But something just to maybe like let your guild officers or whoever know, depending on how you guys do your loot for whatever guild you may be in. But I think that's an important thing as well to consider.
That is good. Yeah, that's a good point. And I think that, you know, if you do, so there's a good question in by Joel Willis. So if you are doing totem twisting, first of all, if you're totem twisting as a healer, congratulations, because that's really hard to do. Not saying it's impossible, but remember that's a ton of mana every 10 seconds that's not going to healing. That's like 500 mana that's not going to healing every 10 seconds. So if you're able to do that, to sustain that, that's really awesome. Number one. But if you are sustaining that, I'm assuming you're going to need mana tide. I've never tried to totem twist and heal at the same time. I've messed around with enhancement because there's like no mana output other than your totems. But if you're able to play that, I don't think there's any way you can effectively totem twist unless you're like high gear, you know, high tier gear without mana tide.
Docken cracking one for the boys in.
Yeah. You're gonna need mana
I was like, wait, I can't
runes,
keep the last
you're
gun
gonna need
open. One.
Potions, you know, because think about that. You're healing, and you're dropping totems every 10 seconds. You're never going to come out of the 5-second rule. I don't know. It's going to be, and not that you're coming out of the 5-second rule is a lot of shaman, but you do. Egregious made a really good point on this. He recorded himself healing like a lot of raids, and you wouldn't believe how much he's out of the 5-second rule. And you know, you don't think about that when you're a healer. You're like, oh, I was constantly healing that entire fight, but you really weren't, right? So, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna ask you a question about that, like, cause I have leveled up a shaman before and I did healing and stuff, and I remember having guys like, you get melee groups. You know, I wasn't always in a tank group, but I'd be in a melee group, whatever. And I had guys like like they would like almost demand that I try to twist totems. I'm like, how? Like, I always felt like, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna like go blow all of my mana in like a short period of time, and I'm supposed to be keeping your ass alive too, like. And I didn't understand why people would get so pushy with that. And I'm just like, bro, I'll try, but like I'll do what I can. Like I'm not gonna let people die to twist totems.
Yeah.
Is
So
that
right
just
now,
me, or is that like I don't know.
Yeah. So I have talents to reduce mana output. So right now, if I were to totem twist, I would be putting 376 extra mana every 10 seconds out. Def camp. That's a lot of mana.
That's a lot. Yeah.
And that's not going to healing at all. That's just twisting.
Yo, imagine playing a class that can't convert health to mana, dude. The fuck?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So if you had Grace of Air rank 3, it'd be even more. So it'd be around 400. So I was off by 100 mana. The 500 is when you don't have the talents for reduced. Right. So about 400 mana per 10 seconds is going to just twisting. Nothing else. That's a lot. So you're going to need consumables. You're going to need, you know, I don't think Resto Shaman should be twisting. I think if you really want a totem twister, if you really want to do that,
enhancement
you should be
or element.
enhancement, and you should put them with your top 4 melee DPS.
Absolutely.
Um,
Totem Twister.
Wait,
not
you
the
shouldn't.
Shaman.
You shouldn't put the twisting enhancement shaman with the feral druid in the tank group. Is that what you're saying?
Right,
Like,
yeah. Definitely put them with 4 other feral druids.
Yeah.
Dude, you know how
there you go.
warriors
Yeah.
want Wind Fury and they're always bugging the shamans for Wind Fury. As a warlock, you do that for us as
Docken,
warlocks
you
too,
notice
bro. With Grace of Air Totem meld around, like we're that thirsty for it though.
Yeah.
I know.
Like,
Grace
you-
is important, dude.
I'm
Yeah.
thirsty for it, just how a warrior's thirsty for Wind Fury. I'm actually
Where's my
finding
Wind
myself.
Fury?
I'm finding myself whispering the shaman like, "Hey man, hey
So
man."
you're already
you-
having threat issues in phase 1?
Oh hell yeah, dude! I'm
You know
warriors
why?
pulling, dude.
Because all the gear that's available for Warlock
Yeah,
right
true.
now. That's
Well,
why.
honestly, Cargus, do you know why you're having threat issues?
Because
Like,
of big crit spikes, dude.
It's
Because
all
you have
the
ruin.
gear.
No,
available.
dude,
It's
no.
the fucking gear.
It's because I'm not tanking for you, bro.
Oh, okay.
God.
Oh,
There you
okay. I will say, dude, the most MVP item I have on me, and I have no regrets going engineering first. Engineering first was the play. It has added so much value. I'm so happy I went engineering first. I had a rocket on super early. I prioritize like security first when I'm out in the open world. I want to be able to like fight and have all the tools I need to be able to function out in the open world. And okay, so the gnomish cloaking device, okay? Gnomish cloaking device, as of right now on Classic WoW, is functioning as like a vanish pretty much and a threat dump. It's like a lip. It's like a threat dump. If your pet is gone and everyone's dead in your group and you gnomish cloaking device, the mobs will de-aggro off of you. You'll go into
Shit.
invis. And before I had lips, like I didn't really have lips for the first week or anything like that. And I was using that every time I would pull, because I would pull like an idiot sometimes, really getting used to it. You get these big spiky 2K Shadow Bolt crits, and you're just like that. You go from like middle of the pack to top of the freaking threat meter. And the gnomish cloaking device is the biggest plays, guys. It's a 1 hour cooldown, but it will save your life, dude. Save your life.
Yeah, if you're a Resto Shaman and you're healing in a cast or a healer group, just put down Tranquil Air Totem. Don't.
Yeah.
Tranquil
put it
Air,
down.
yeah, not Grace Fair. My bad, man.
Yeah,
Grace of Air gives
put down-
agility.
Yeah.
Put down Tranquil Air. There's no reason why you shouldn't put it down, just in case, right? If you're in a group with other casters or healers, just put the F down. Put it down with Mana Spring and rotate in Mana Tide if you have it.
We have a Shadow Priest and Warlocks in a group with the Shaman, man, and it's
Nice.
so nice, dude. Like, I don't know. I really rely on Shamans now, man. Shamans are...
Dude, that's
Shamans are amazing in raids, man.
They really are, dude. Shamans are amazing.
What do we need for the guild? What do we need for the guild? I would tell everybody and their brother we need shaman. We need shaman. Like I was just telling them we need shaman because like end game, I always felt like on the private servers we were always short shaman. You're like, we need shaman. I'm like, I don't care if we get 8 shaman. I'm gonna put one in every group if I have to.
Seriously,
Like, I
though.
don't- Like, dude, it's
Yeah.
so big. It's so big. Like the benefits you get from them, and it's, yeah.
And the great thing is now that the fact that the content is like fucking things are dying so quick. Bring an Ellie shaman, bring an enhancement shaman. It's more shamans,
Well,
right?
don't get carried away.
Oh, come on, listen, Docken, all right?
Don't get carried away now.
Seriously, there's no reason not to.
They're
really
very,
is.
very, very strong class. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm honestly like really interested to see how like the Ellie plays out and how the enhanced do play out because like on the private service again they were like basically dragging a boat anchor while you're swimming some of the time on what they could do, and that's solely because like they just didn't perform as but things are a little bit different here, and the resist and the armor and all that stuff is different
So
here on
I'm
the bosses.
wondering.
Yeah.
And like
This is my
like
yeah.
if it fights 20 seconds, is an Ellie shaman legit damage on like Lucifron or like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to see
Exactly,
that's-
dude.
dude. I want to see a
That's what I
big,
mean, like,
big
it-
pumper Ellie Shaman in phase 1, dude. I want to see it right now, dude.
Big Mel,
pumper.
dude.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet this, and I could be totally wrong because I haven't been in MC yet. We're gonna do it next week. I'm willing to bet that private servers made more mobs nature resistant than than classic is.
I think it might have. I'm not saying I kind of agree.
Yeah.
Like I think it's to be determined, right?
Yeah. And if that's the truth, dude, if you're a good guild and you kill mobs within like a minute, even within a minute,
You can blow some motherfuckers
an
up. dude.
elemental shaman can last that long.
Yeah,
Like, with-
absolutely.
Yeah.
They blow their load quick, but
Minuteman,
it's a big
dude.
load, dude. Big load.
Yeah.
Yo,
Big
It's a
load.
big
Well,
load. dude.
That's what people say.
Yo,
In
the
PvP, like they're so dangerous because they're like bam bam bam, like they could light you up quick.
they can light you up quick, like a
Yeah.
Christmas tree, dude. Like a Christmas
They-
tree
they-
in Rockefeller Square, dude. They'll
They
light
can
you
blow their
up.
load really quick in a lot of different.
Yes.
Yeah, that reminds me of a
times,
story
yeah.
I heard about a friend from high school.
Yeah.
Was his name Defcam?
Yo, so can you? This is one thing I find really cool about elemental shamans too, and like there are some bad things too, like no warlock curse is gonna amplify their shit and stuff like that. But it's cool that they can their main damage dealer, their main mana dump, lightning bolt can be reduced by a whole second, not 0.5. Right?
Second,
a whole second gets shaved off that bad
second,
boy.
bro.
So you benefit from what? Do you benefit from the 3-0 spell power coefficient and it becomes 2-0? Is that it?
It always remains talents that reduce the casting time do not change the coefficient.
That's what I'm saying. So you get the benefit from the bigger, juicier spell power.
5.71%, yeah.
And it's a 2-second cast, right? It's not like a shadow bolt.
Correct.
So you get spell power coefficient from a 3.0 second spell, 0.857. And it's a 2-second. That is so juicy right there, man. I really want to see.
I can't remember. The 2.5, does that reduce that as well, or is that just the heals?
Wait, what's your question? 2.5.
The set bonus.
Oh, the 2.5. That's what's the one that does for chain heal too? Think about the one for chain heal, Docken?
Yeah. I was just do lightning as well. Sorry.
Remind me what a tier that is.
2.5.
2.5. It's AQ.
It's called.
That's the orange fucking shoulder.
So is it Stormcaller or something?
Stormcaller.
Stormcaller. That's it. Yeah. Stormcaller Regalia, I think. Let me see. Oh, why did I just?
Sorry, you didn't have to look it up. I just thought maybe you had it offhand because you were talking.
Yeah,
I was just making my thought.
Stormcaller Regalia, I said, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. While I'm looking up, talk about something.
There's a shaman set called Regalia, dude. I don't see shamans.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's not called Regalia. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
I want to see a big Ellie Shaman pumper, man. I'd love to see it.
I
Someone
really
coming in
would love to
there,
see that.
full consumes, full try hard, like absolute parse whore. Just come in there with Ellie Shaman. and
Stormcaller is
just-
Guard. That's what it's called.
Guard.
Do they have threat reduction in talents, Ellie Shaman? Anything?
No, they do not.
Okay.
They have threat reduction for healing, not for damage.
Well, they can drop their own
They
damn
have
totem,
the
right?
totem,
Yeah, they can drop their own damn
They have
totem.
Tranquil Air,
There
yeah,
you go.
that's true.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
No, another thing too. What about like the spell pen items later on for?
Oh, dude, yeah.
Shaman.
Oh, it's only chain heal, Docken.
Okay, I couldn't
That's
remember.
what I thought it was chain heal. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you're able to, I think Elemental can do pretty well. I want to see an MC like because we have an Elemental Shaman in our raid. I want to see how well he's gonna hold up.
You have to be his coach, man, his mentor. You got to help him out because you got to represent. He's got to represent. We have a Shadow Priest in our raid. I love that.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
one of
Oh,
ours,
Shadow
we
Priest.
have one of
It's
ours,
good if you bring enough warlocks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
And like, dude, they can do work. Like, we had a guy.
Oh yeah.
In our guild, man, like he was like impressive damage to me. We ended up actually giving him the first Locomir that we got because I was like, dude, this guy does work. Like, we gotta hook him up. Like, he got good gear.
It's the same thing with Ellie, really. If you're in a fight where and do the DPS, Shadow Priest can do surprisingly good fucking damage, dude. Really fucking can.
You know, as a Shadow Priest, Stepcam, do you how many debuff slots do you need to like be successful if you're actually trying to do damage and not be utility?
That's the thing, right?
Too
Because
many,
you know, it's here's the thing, right? Because you have your Shadow Word Pain debuff slot, you have your
Shadow Weaving
slot, right? So honestly, that's it. That's really all you.
What about Mind Flay though? Isn't that a debuff or no?
No, Mind Flay is not a debuff. No, it's not. Not because
it's a movement.
It's
a
slow,
movement, so
it's
it
on
won't
a boss.
be
On a
applied.
boss, it is not a debuff slot. Yeah.
Oh.
It won't be
It would be on a ad that can be slowed.
Yes,
but on a boss, it is not a debuff slot.
It's the same thing with Frost Shock. You can Frost Shock bosses without worrying about the debuff.
Juicy. So you only need. So it's only.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Dude, I always thought that Mind Flay counted as a debuff, and I was like, damn, what are they just gonna spam rank 1 Shadow Word Pain or something to stack it up
See,
real quick?
that's what as a Shadow Priest when I was Docken, if you remember when we did the MC when I was Shadow and I was doing the Holy Weep, I used rank 1 Mind Flay to keep up Shadow Weave. So what I did rank 1 Mind Flay, stop cast, rank 1 Mind Flay, stop cast, rank 1 Mind Flay, stop cast, did it 5 times to stack the Shadow Weaving up. Then I would start healing. Then in 10 seconds would go by, rank 1 Mind Flay, stop cast, heal.
So you're getting that efficiency, and then you still
exactly.
get the debuff up there.
Exactly,
at the same
and
time.
it's only like so little mana for a rank 1 Mind Flay. So yeah, it's really good. Like I said, you're only really using 2 debuff slots up as a Shadow Priest, Shadow Word Pain, and Shadow Weaving. Other than that, like obviously you're not gonna have you're not gonna worry about that too much on where you're gonna proc the Mind Flight debuff. It's okay. It's fine. But for bosses, yeah, only 2.
That's cool, man. That is cool. Bunch of warlocks really benefit from that.
Yeah, I've only ever raided. I've done Shadow like once in a raid, and honestly, that was with you, Docken. Every other time I've raided as a Shadow Priest in the Burning Crusade as a mana battery, basically, which was cool. But I've never raided as a Shadow Priest in vanilla, other than like doing a pug. Because I love healing, right? I fucking love healing. But honestly, I would not be apart from at least trying it this time around a couple times. So I'm kind of excited for it. I really, because things are gonna be in MC. Like I don't mind expecting Shadow, and I actually really like Holy Weave. So being the person who gets the Shadow, I honestly feel like a Holy Weaving Priest. It's kind of, here's the thing, you really don't.
What is Holy Weaving? I don't know.
So Holy Weaving is what I just explained. It would be me keeping up the 5 stacks of Shadow Weaving with that rank 1 Mind Flay every so rank 1 Mind Flay, like I said, and then you cancel the channel right away.
Right.
And then in between you keeping up that debuff, you're healing. Right, so you're healing the tank, healing the raid, and then every 10 seconds or so you do a rank 1 Mind Flay to keep that Shadow Weaving up. So essentially, you're getting the benefit that a Shadow Priest gives to the warlocks, but you're still healing.
Sounds like a very selfless job, but yeah, dude, I love that one.
Yeah, it is a very selfless job, and it is very something that I like doing because you're giving another thing to the raid right there.
But that's another great item to point out too, is like when you're looking at the benefit of classes and the way they're played and stuff, and everybody like you guys feel they get way too meter focused on things. So like meter. Like meter matters, but the thing is when you address a meter, you need to look at the meter with what are they doing in addition to that. Like, is this person like like you said, if you're doing that, you've got to use globals to put that up. You've got to use time to mana, everything else. You're doing a lot more than just like you're all healing, and that's just a consideration if you're self-evaluating. Which I recommend every player go self-evaluate after raids. Go look at what you're doing, look at your numbers, look at the rotation, and say, why is this different than this other guy? And then if you look at the other guy and you break down on what they're using, and you get this like, okay, that guy was spamming this ability the whole entire time, and he wasn't doing this. That's why his damage is X higher, or he wasn't spamming heal and he was, stuff like that. You can also gauge too the quality of like healers even sometimes based on effective healing versus like over healing. But it's not that they're using the spells at the wrong time. You might find like, and this probably won't be the case here because on private servers people had all those healing mods that basically would like auto select a million tanks.
Yeah.
And those people pissed me off in raids more than anybody because they would talk the most shit. Be like, I'm good, these healers suck. And be like, bro, you're fucking auto-sniping people with, like, fast heals, and you're not even, your healing done on your assigned heal target is shit. Yep. And everyone else is healing your target because you're neglecting it.
Makes sense.
Like, I don't even know why I got on that tirade, but that was just like...
No, dude, I feel
the meters, and I'm starting to realize that I'm kind of a meter whore, dude, and that's not a good thing. Like, honestly, like, I like to itemize defensively a lot of the time and to keep lots of health potions and to bandage myself and to get more stamina than maybe I should. I don't like going full spell damage, like getting a bunch of greens with the highest roll possible and going in there and just pumping huge... I would rather itemize to be a little bit... have a little bit more health and stuff like that, but I'm finding myself gravitating away from that and also making poor decisions in raids because I'm in a situation, right, where I'm kind of low. The smart play is to just sit there and bandage myself, right? But I'm a little tempted to just pump shadow bolts, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
and start life tapping and make the healer's job even harder.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, do I life tap or do I use bandage on cooldown and waste 5 seconds and it's gonna mean my parse is gonna be ass? Like, what I'm saying? Like,
here's another thing too. Yeah. Another little thing to throw out there is like, if you're that healer that is super worried about numbers, but as long as your primary task is accomplished successfully, warlocks are the easiest place to pick up heal snipes.
You know what?
You roll a down rank hot.
You put a fucking warlock. Oh my god. Docken, I get so much bonus healing, plus healing from putting renews on. The thing is, though,
we appreciate it. We appreciate
no one ever lets that renew fucking tick. That's the problem. That's the problem with HOTS and raids. When you have 11 other healers, renew becomes so worthless sometimes because, and this is where the rage should be, and all the healers should think of it as one giant mana bar. Not the fact that you're doing this, you're healing, you're trying to snipe. The best and most efficient way is if you see a hot on someone and they're not getting hit, let the fucking hot tick. Okay? Don't snipe
Don't
it
snipe
with
it. Don't snipe
with
it.
a rank 4 flash heal or whatever you're gonna do to try to snipe it real quick, because you're basically just wasting mana, right? Okay? And I understand some people look at the meters and then like sometimes it's nice to be on top of meters, but you gotta remember, guys, if you're in, especially if you're in progression, you got to think of the mana bar of every healer as one giant mana bar, and you got to work together and say, okay. And then the thing is to be a proactive healer, right? You don't want to be a reactive healer. You want to realize, okay, so if we're doing Gar, and I know that say Docken's tanking and the ad's about to blow up, put a powered shield on him, or have a max rank greater heal ready to go out as soon as that ad blows up, and as soon as he lands, it takes that fall damage.
But that's the thing, when it's not progression, because right now it's technically not progression anymore, dude. We already cleared it out, so like it changes.
But you'll still have shit like that happening, right? Yeah. You still know that when Docken is attacking the ad, and when that ad blows up, he's going to take a lot of fucking damage, right? So you can still be proactive no matter what.
That again boils down to the 3 types of raiders that exist, and this is something, again, when you hit 60, educating yourself on the raid mobs, your role within the raid, what everyone else's role and task is very important, because like I generally will classify raiders as 3 people. You have the guy that can show up and hopefully you tell him what to do and he does it, but he has no idea why. You have the guy that shows up, he's prepared, and he knows what he's doing and why he's doing it. And then you have the guy that I like to consider someone like myself, is I show up, I know what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, I know what he's doing, why he's doing it, and I know what that guy over there is doing and why he's doing it. And that guy is the guy you want as your raider, because he understands the value of what's happening within the fight, like not like just doing their job mindlessly, but that healer will then know, I need to decurse or remove magic more than anything else on this.
Because you know what the other classes have to offer too, right? And what they're capable of.
Same goes for PV fucking P.
So true. Same
goes for PV.
So what? Whether you're gonna take that off, because if you don't, you're gonna end up trying to out heal 4,000 damage. Where if you take it off, you spend 50 mana to remove it, and then you spend 100 mana to do a small little heal because it didn't do that much damage yet.
Yep.
Would you guys agree that honestly the most high impact thing you could do to get better at the game is to learn every skill on every class,
100%,
to know what classes can decurse, what classes can dispel, what classes have also access to what PvP. Tools. Yeah, it just will dramatically increase your understanding and ability to play.
I said that all the time.
The best example of that is the spiders in Axe that do the poison and ticks for like 2,000 damage. Like if you don't remove it instantly and they get hit twice, it's gonna kill every caster in the raid.
Yep.
Yeah, but knowing every class's ability is not only good for PvE, but it's required knowledge for PvP. Like if you don't know
required knowledge, I love it. Yeah, it's true.
I mean, like you can't PvP at any competitive level if you don't understand how the other classes, your target's spells work, right?
Yeah, I think it's like engineering. You have to have it to be competitive with PvP.
Well, that's a whole other.
But the best weapon you can have in PvP is understanding your opponents and understanding what you can do. Like for instance, I talked to someone recently the other day who they didn't realize that when you're fighting a mage as a priest, whatever, some of the best things you can do is time your dispels, right? If he frost novas you, wait for that frost bolt about to come out, dispel yourself and knowing like how the mage works.
Oh, like baiting abilities,
things like that. Baiting abilities, yeah, exactly. So many amazing things like that you can do that it might seem like very subtle, very simple things can end up being the difference between life and death.
Use your Hearthstone. And people it's because you glow green. It's especially like the heal, and you're like, they counterspell a fucking Hearthstone.
Love that as a Tauren, man. It's so cool.
Such a good fucking strategy, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god, like that's and this is the other thing too. Like, dude, Horn Viking helmet, Horde only because it's Ultimate.
Yep.
It's late. Warriors can get it. It is a helmet's got 10 agi, 10 stam, and it's got a use effect. It charges and stuns the target, right?
Yep.
So I wear that running around, and it is amazing, especially for like mages and stuff. Like, cause what do they do? If you see them, you charge. Yeah, they blink, frost them, whatever, like do it. And then the thing is, they blink the second time, and use their cold snap, and now because when you intercept, and now all of a sudden they're like, wait, how did he just charge me for a third time? Because they got the helmet. You know what I mean? It's just so good.
Yeah.
Or if a rogue jumps you, Rogue jumps you, I spam that. I'm like shift 4, shift 4, shift 4, shift 4, shift 4. As soon as the stun breaks, boom, he's stunned. I just stand there and bandage the full Ren hamstring. And it's like, fuck.
Little things like that, like, yeah, exactly. Knowing,
And I'm terrible at PvP.
Dude, but like the thing is, you get better the more you duel, the more you interact with other people.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, Belron knows now that, like, first thing I'm gonna do is go after his Tremor Totem. So now he tries to find ways to put his Tremor Totem in there where I would expect it. Waiting until he knows if I'm running towards him as a priest, I'm about to fear him, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no other reason why I'm gonna run towards you other than fearing. He knows that at that moment, that's when he should drop a Tremor Totem now. You know what I mean? Purging and actively dispelling and knowing, when to do that. Like, if I'm a priest and I see Melderon casting a Chain Lightning, I can put up that bubble, boom, right before that Chain Lightning comes out, so I get that absorbed, because I knew otherwise he's going to purge it, right? Little things like this, man, just understanding, how a mage will play. If a mage is going to blink into you and try to Frost Nova, you got to be ready to try to counteract that somehow. You got to be ready to do whatever you can, and knowing what everyone has in their toolkit. Like, I know for a fact that a warlock is going to try to use Shadow Ward. He's going to try to sacrifice his pet. He's going to try to use his fell stone that gives him the magic thing. All that, knowing that that this have your dispels ready for all those things. Put the silence on there, and to get him in that time, to make sure that he's got nothing he can do in that moment. And knowing, like, when to silence someone. As a healer, that's a healer cast, like a shaman, right? If he's at like 30% health, you know that he's going to start casting heals to start getting himself out. So we want to save the silence. You don't want to open up with the silence right away against when you're dueling a shaman, right? You want to get him to that 30%, then silence. Do things like that.
Yeah, if you're a shaman, it doesn't matter because you have to interrupt every 6 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's so true, though, especially what Docken was saying with Band-Aid. That's another big one, man. Band-Aid is so powerful, especially in Phase 1 right now, dude.
Every single class should have first aid. I don't care if you're a priest.
Dude, that is a requirement in my guild.
Yes.
Like, if you want to raid, you're expected to have 300 first aid. Like, if you don't, like, you just, like, go level up first aid.
Don't even care if you're a priest, dude. If you're a priest, you're like, I have renew. Dude, well, guess what?
Dude.
You having first aid is going to save mana. It's going to save... Like, how many times are you in shadow form? And when you're leveling, whatever, and then you know how much mana you waste by going back into shadow form and going out, healing, going back into shadow form? That's like half your mana bar right there.
Yep.
Or you could have just used the bandage.
Even as a tank, like, I'm like, there's times like where there's multiple things going on, or I'm not actively tanking something at that moment, dude. Sometimes in raids, like if it's ugly, I'll literally run over and waste like 5 bandages, like just standing there like with the healer, like bandage the priest. Bandage the shaman, because then they don't have to heal themselves and they can keep other people up. And it's like, if I'm not doing something else, even as like a DPS, like if you did that, dude.
You heard about this increased Band-Aid range on Torrens? On Torrens, it's kind of funny, dude.
Oh, dude.
They can snipe people, dude. They got the ACOG on the Band-Aid, dude. They got the ACOG. They got the ACOG on the Band-Aid.
A Tarn can put a bandage on a Tarn from like 10 yards away.
They got a ranged heal, man. They got a ranged heal. No, but the thing is with but yeah, the Band-Aids are important too in PvP because you have to know when you can Band-Aid against someone else. Like, you have to know when they've exhausted their options and now it's safe to Band-Aid. That was the point I was originally making, like, and I'm still figuring that out, because if you Band-Aid and get it immediately interrupted, that's terrible, dude. That's a really big deal. Like,
it's funny too, because like you're talking about the benefit of this. Like, I had and I'm a little bit proud of this one. I was fighting some of the elites outside Ultimate, like trying to finish up the one quest, and they were green to me, waiting for a group to get there. And this mage who was equal level to me attacks me while I'm fighting those. And it got into like a situation where I got to him and I got a couple of good crits, and he blinked and he like get a cold, like he was getting ready to blink the second time. Excuse me. I was waiting for intercept to come back up, and he was casting, and I'm like, I can't get down to him and I can't interrupt. I'm like, I'm just gonna bandage and eat the frostbolt. And it was long enough. I got like 1 tick or 2 ticks off, and it was enough to keep me alive. I was like 10 health or something stupid off like 1 tick of bandage. Got down there and I actually got on his face, and he blinked into the wall and I killed him. I was like, hell yeah!
Made the difference, man.
Like, dude, it was the difference though. But the thing is like that 1 bandage tick was enough to save me from dying.
Yeah.
Like, it was literally that close.
Sometimes that's all you can get, and that's all you got to do. But guys, I can't wait till Phase 2. I don't know about you guys. I cannot wait to farm honor outside of Dire Maul.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Insane and amazing. I cannot wait.
Dude, I can't wait to kill Zhao Ying Cheng Chong outside.
Bro, I'm kind of scared.
Caveman Docken. Yeah.
Yo, I'm kind of scared though. Phase 2 is really going to be such a big slash play check with this, like, with the world PvP, man. It's if you're trying to rank in Phase 2, it's going to be a time spent type thing, man. Like,
Yes, it is, baby.
our
Yes,
bodies and minds ready for that, dude. That's going to be more no life than this level and grind to 60. Whew, man, it's going to be crazy.
I've
Honestly,
never.
Luckily for me, I don't care
Actually,
about it.
And tried to rank. I had one character that got
Yeah.
the hand of rag, and I was like, I'm gonna rank with this guy, and I got to like rank 4 or something or 5, and I discovered that because of the death spiral of the server, the BGQs weren't popping enough at non-peak times, like when I wasn't raiding, to make it. And I'm like, that kind of sucks because I've never actually done it. And I actually was committing to try to like get some rank and maybe get better at it. And it's something like I always tell people, I'm like, I'm terrible at PvP. I know a few things. And it feels good to go from playing on private servers with consolidated, high-end, super hardcore PvPers all over the place, and you have to fight them because they fight you.
Yeah.
And like getting a little bit better over time while doing that just feels good. To like when I'm here, I feel like I come across the average person and I actually do moderately okay. You know?
Yeah.
Yo, what Alliance Guild has been fighting the most right now? We're all on the same server. Like, have you noticed any in particular?
Yeah. What the fuck were their name?
Oh yeah, it was like one word.
Rise? Was it Rise?
Rise and Rain,
Maybe? Yeah.
Rise, Rain,
No,
and pretty good, man. They're both all those are the three main contenders right now.
Yeah.
I got guys that were supposed to join us. Like the one dude was supposed to straight be our raid leader, right? And he was like making sheets and this and that, and like the last times I talked to them, they're all good. And they went and they rolled Alliance on our server, and then they come and kill me, and I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?"
You hate to see that, dude.
Wow.
Oh,
And, like,
man.
We actually need more Alliance on our server, though, guys. We do.
And the funny thing is like then they
Do
tell
we?
the other dude, like,
Yes,
oh
we
my
do.
god, we're actually one of the, according to the last population I saw, we're the second most horde saturated server. Is that
Yep.
correct?
We have 70% horde, dude.
You'll love to see that. Yeah, man.
I am okay with
Yeah.
that.
Well, it's not good for queues.
Well,
yeah,
we're
we're gonna
have.
I don't
GGs, right?
rank.
Yeah.
I don't rank, but
And
hey,
we're
you know
gonna
what though?
have
One thing I'm
GGs,
looking forward
right?
to is when the phase comes out. A lot more people are going to be interested in like PvPing and doing stuff, you know. And I think it's going to be fun because raid night, you're going to do your first night, you're going to clear the content, and then you're going to have your second night. And like, what do you do? So you take your second night, instead of having an empty night and not getting people on, you keep schedules. So like our raids are probably going to be Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Adults, we have different schedules and smashing it all in after reset. But on the second night, before we have raids to do, I'm gonna try to create social events like, yo, let's go do ride the boat and pirate night. You know, let's go attack a city, do whatever stuff like that. And I think that's fun.
Oh, I can't wait to do stuff like that, dude. We already did a night where we from STV to like Red Ridge. It was awesome. And you know what? Like I love doing PvP events, and I'm probably gonna level myself like a level 15 or whatever warlock. Park him in the under the Cathedral of Stormwind and just get him ready to kill some
Oh
bombs.
yes, that sounds
Yep,
great.
yep.
We raided Ironforge the other day. Anybody in the
Oh,
chat
yeah,
playing
everybody
Skyrim,
does that,
dude? It was
yeah.
great, man. It was great. We dropped Infernals outside. They were our front line. We made it pretty far. We went into the auction house. We killed a bunch of people there. We made it into the bank. We killed a bunch of people there. We didn't get to kill the main guy, though. If we beelined it straight for him, I think we would have got him. But that was so fun, guys. Let me tell you, it is so fun doing these raids on capital cities. I had such a good time.
I think if you do it, you got to be quick. Like you got to go in and go straight for them, because if you dilly dally too much, people start putting the word out, and then they come back, and you end up having more people to fight. But
Exactly.
we should make it a thing and get everybody together and kill the main city bosses.
Yeah. I kind of have something planned for the Alliance. Just throwing it out there. I kind of have something planned. It may make the faction imbalance worse though. So
I gotta give this out. Like this
I
is
don't know.
and they were atrocious, like painfully atrocious scuba cops, right? And some of you guys may or may not know
Scuba
that.
Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Shout out to Talent Drill, dude.
I remember that,
Dude, they had this raid wipe thing that they would always do, and like we were trying to go into the mountain the one time, and they had like some of the groups were like horde trying to coordinate and blah blah blah, turning this big mess of like trying to battle back, and they wiped out the raid team right in front of us, and we came in right behind, and we wiped them out. And then they got, I don't know, they had a video showing them wiping out the raid, and they cut the video right before we came on the screen and killed them. And I'm like, well, you don't expect them to show them getting whooped, right? So then some of our guys start commenting on the video, like, oh, what happened after that? Blah, blah, blah. Like, talking shit. And I'm like, shut up, dudes. Like, just shut up. Like, don't poke the beehive.
Dude.
And so then I said, I bet you something's coming. Let's get ready. Like, we reconfigured. We had a whole plan set up to get around it the next time. And they go on there, and the one dude's like, oh, we got something special planned for you guys this week. You're not going to get us, yada, yada. I'm like, shut up. Shut up. Dude, they straight up camped an entire raid of people out in Orgrimmar, in the tower, waiting till we were dropping buffs, jumped out of the tower, invis-potted from the tower over to where the head drops, and AE'd our entire raid team in Oregon, killed us.
Damn.
They ran then to the bank, AE'd the doorway to the bank, and they all got out. So like, how crazy is that? Like, I was so frustrating, but I gotta give him credit because that was like crazy coolest PvP thing I think I've ever seen.
Cool, yeah. Dude, I gotta say, one of the best moments I had on server was when so we got in this like kind of fight. It was when Domo like had just started dropping loot, and you know, we had gotten some people their leaf and stuff like that. So someone that we were doing the part in Solthis for the hunters to get their rock dollar quest, and you know, there was this huge epic battle down in Solthis with these alliance guild trying to get. We were there first trying to get our guy, and he didn't get it one time, and then the alliance kept on coming, they kept on trying to get it, so we started fighting them to try to wipe them, and it lasted like 3-4 hours. They bitched to the GMs are like, let them go first. It was bullshit, right? Because we were there first and all this. So all this shit happens, all this drama happens. They try to get us banned. We ended up getting like one of their guys banned, all this shit. So a lot of our guys would stream, and they were like, you know, we're gonna wait for them. So they waited for us to raid our next day, and was waiting in Blackrock Mountain with 2 full raid groups, right, to try to wipe our raid group with all our buffs and everything like that. So they had 2 full raid groups, and there was actually 2 guilds involved with this, and you know, they are expecting us to come from the Kargath side, right? So instead of coming from the Kargath side, we come from the Burning Step side. We come around, they're all waiting there, the Kargath side, dude. We sent our mages in. We had everyone with saber charges and shit. Dude, we deleted their both, like, 80 people in, like, 10 seconds. It was fucking epic. It was amazing. Oh, dude, I fucking love it. It was so cool.
Dude. They hit every target. Yep. So like, another 200 IQ thing, man. Pop a smaller fire pot before you use the sapper.
Yes, yeah.
There you go.
It was like this crazy like fight that like we got with this guild, and we just wrecked them every time we met them in the world. We just destroyed them, even though they had the numbers. We had the IQ, you know.
It's awesome. That's another great thing. Like, as much as frustrating as it can be from time to time in like situations like that, and the world buff meta is something that's like, dude, it ruins the experience for people when they lose them. Like, dude, when you're the guy, the DPS guy, and you lose them in a raid to like something dumb. Like, there's people on my stream, like, they seem like I'll go in and I would be rocking, and then just boom, I'd be like the only one to die. Like, I'm a tank. Why am I dead? You know what I mean? And I lose my buffs, and I'm like, well, I'm basically a flat potato for the rest of the raid. But you know, and it makes a bad experience for you. But it's as frustrating as it is. Some of the PvP and some of the things that have happened, like, have created the most crazy experiences. You know, with the world PvP that's going on, and it just gives a lot of good stories.
It's true, man. It's true. Very true. Yeah. So honestly, like I said, I'm really excited. Fucking ready to go.
Dude, I'm ready to go too. I can't wait to raid, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, can't wait to raid. I can't wait to, you know, it's crazy to think that BGs are still so far away. You know?
I know, right? We got a taste of it on the beta. We were playing AB, we were playing AV, we were playing Warsong, and then we're not going to get that until months and months from now.
Yeah, dude, we are still so far away from BGs, which is good, but it's just weird to think that, and I'm really looking forward to the world PvP. Very, very, very much so. Looking forward to the city raids, looking forward to the Tower Mill versus South Shore. I'm looking forward to the crazy fights outside of DM, looking forward to the crazy fights outside of Black Rock Mountain, outside of Oni and things like that. And because a lot of the times now, like once in a while you'll gang someone, you'll kill someone, but there's this like uneasy, steady peace that's going on in a lot of places where people just wave to each other, they say hi, and it's and I kind of am getting sick of that, honestly.
It was funny. Like I was doing Sunken Temple the other day, and we're standing outside, and like there was 3 dudes they were trying to summon the Alliance players over to run their run, and I was the only Horde guy that was there. So I went up top of the temple, which was kind of like staying in the back, like maybe I need to run, like I don't want to die, whatever. And the one dude came up, and I accidentally like auto attacked him when he came up because I was targeting him and started swinging. Like, oh shit, and I apologize, I don't want to run back 3-1.
Yeah.
And so he took his weapons off and started slapping me, and then another dude came up, and I took my weapon off, and the next thing you know, like my group showed up, and there's like 4 of us just standing there, like everybody's like slapping each other with no weapons in their hands. Like it was funny because no one killed each other, but it was just funny that we're all just like bah, 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 bah. Like it just looks silly.
Yeah, that is.
I had some funny moments while this one gnome, I was trying to get the kills that I had, and he kept on coming to hit me, and I would just kill him every time. I had a lot of fun. I've been mind controlling people. I'm just gonna have a montage guys, of me just mind controlling people off the boats. I literally have a timer down again to where I can figure out where I can get people, where I can mind control them off, and them have the longest swim possible to get back. So a lot of that, is going to be coming up in some videos.
You're an asshole.
Dude, I love that, dude. He timed it out. This will be a 17-minute inconvenience. Let's just yoink him.
Oh man, I fucking love it, dude. Dude,
I can't wait to tear it up with Death Camp though. Oh man, Warlock Priest, dude, we're gonna be killing it out there, man.
Oh, it's so good, bro. So fucking good. The mana drain, bro. The mana drain.
The mana drain is real. I love that you love mana burn and that you like taking people's mana.
I fucking love it, dude.
One of my favorite pastimes.
Yep.
Anyway, guys, we're gonna start wrapping it up. We've been streaming for about 2 hours. I just really want to make an effort to get Docken's stream out there, get Docken's community and guild out there. Docken, man, you've been a big time friend for us for a while. Where can people find you, man? We're both in game and just your stream, all that stuff.
I'm playing Docken as my main character on the Skyrim server, Docken. And as well, my primary streaming platform I do on Twitch is Docken, Docken_TV, so Docken TV on Twitch, boys. I appreciate that so much. Anybody wants to come out, I'm a little more animated at times, and we like to send it, drink beers, and have a good time over there.
Send it.
Just gonna send it!
Send it!
I do have a YouTube. I'm not near as active on that right now, but you guys are welcome to follow over there.
Let's put some links in there for you. There we go.
I'm spamming it down.
Thank you. I have ambitions of making videos, but I do work full time as well, so it's a bit tough. But thank you. I really appreciate it. I had a blast, man. This was so much fun. I love doing these conversations because, like, I feel like I'm sitting, like, dude, my brother and I, back we just talk like this, and it's so good. It's so much good information for people.
Oh yeah.
And it's so much fun. The other thing too, anybody that's interested in doing that, I primarily do tanking. I am running a guild, and I have done raid leading, and I've done all the content from MC to KT. So,
dude, it's crazy. Docken can literally sit there, stream, raid lead.
That's
and
crazy, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy. Stream, raid lead, main tank. I can't even freaking press Shadow Bolt and look at the stream, bro. I can't even.
Thanks, boys.
Dude.
Thanks.
Practice. It's pretty insane, I have to say. I've watched many of the streams, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
And he's entertaining. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like,
And he's inebriated most of the time.
And he's inebriated.
But he's drunk doing 3 things, and he's still playing them.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Oh my god, you guys are
it's
great.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, but I just want to say, guys, if you want to, in about I'd say 20 minutes or so, I'm gonna log in. I'm gonna go on my stream on we'll put it here real quick on twitch.tv/defcamp, and I will be dinging 60 today, literally in about 20 minutes or so. So if anybody wants to come by, check it out. I will be dinging 60 in literally less than like a half hour.
That is great, dude.
Yeah. If you guys want to come by, check it out. And then Melderon will be digging later on tonight, probably, right, Melderon?
Oh, yeah, I'm already 2/3 of the way there.
Yeah, so guys,
I'll be hitting 60 as well.
No.
Docken, you're close, man. Could they be the day?
I'm
Trifecta
57.
day?
57.
57? Okay, maybe one more day, yeah. Okay.
So yeah, if you want to come watch Melderon and I both getting level 60 today, you know where to find us over on our YouTube or over on our Twitch. So yeah, I mean it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be fun. So I can't wait. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for hanging out with us this week. We will see you next
See you
week
guys.
on Good Morning Azeroth 30, man. Can't believe it. Anyways, have a good week, guys. Peace out.
New videos
He's
coming
in
next
it.
week. See ya.
Keep on, keep on and grinding.